established, just so everybody knows. Grappling. If you have someone grappled, you and your allies will have advantage against that enemy. However, beware, the same is true for your enemies as always, so watch out. Second thing is, as I'm sure some of you have heard it many times before this week, I am running a session 0 on Wednesday night, usual game time. No commitment to be there, it's free. If anyone's interested to check it out and see what the table might look like as far as people joining, what the campaign might end up being, just a peek. Like, we're not going to do the full orientation, like house rule stuff yet. This is just kind of, this is almost, I guess it's almost more like advertising than anything. But yeah, everyone's welcome to come around, and maybe we can start figuring out who wants to be a part of that game and what we want to play. So maybe that might be you. So please come out, or don't. It's entirely up to you. But anyway, let's get to it. Okay, we're not. Okay.
Wow.
Round 2.
Fight.
Fight.
Did we actually finish a long rest, or are we still trying to knock that out?
Still trying to knock that out, yeah.
Of course. No, just that's what I thought. I wanted to confirm. Thank you so much.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, everybody, welcome back. It is, if I'm not mistaken, it is the 4th of Discar here in Tal'Dorei, and you've had a very interesting day. You found your way into the depths of what I shall call the Temple of Sun and Moon, and you have learned its secrets. It is holding a most evil crown, presumably linked to the spider. You guys have decided amongst yourselves the best thing you could possibly do right now was to travel to Vasselheim, or is there a better place of holy power and security to contain such a grisly artifact? So you have begun to make your way east across the Neverfields just north of Lyrengorn. You were hit with a pretty heavy blizzard and tried to camp down for the night. You were found by sky swimmers from Lyrengorn. It seems as you sent Naelus Ildereth back to Lyrengorn, it seems that sky swimmers have been dispatched to find and aid your party. To which they were promptly told, no, we're good. And they were like, well, okay. And then were promptly attacked. It does indeed seem that the demilitarized Lyrengorn is not exceptionally impressive when it comes to its warriors. Maybe to its architecture, maybe to its art, maybe to its religion, but not its warriors, unfortunately. You battled hard against very strange, monstrous creatures that assaulted you in the night. Creatures no bigger than 3 feet tall, with many arms, ghoulish looks in their many 6 eyes, and much larger, almost woven-like drow spider creatures attacked, but you all prevailed and managed to defeat your enemies. That is where we pick up. It is in the middle of the 3rd watch, and you have succeeded in your combat. Also, Glint, I apologize it's taken so long, but here they are. They are the
Excellent.
The Glint Skelly Warriors. Custom Glint Skelly Warriors.
My precious children.
Yes. My precious reforming convicts. Yes, Yvain.
Actually, this is for Glint.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Deacon, Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other 3? Because I can't remember.
All right, it's let me pull it up. I have notes here for my skeletons, at least.
I remember Deacon and Claudia.
Yeah, so there's Deacon, Claudia, Julia, Oscar, and Frederick.
Julia, Oscar, and Frederick. Thank you.
Could you type those in there, and I'll save them as specific mini names.
Yeah.
So
You
we
can
can
put it
start
into the
identifying our skellies a little bit worthy of their titles, I suppose. Oh yeah, also Ember is Ember's a lamb. Not to forget. Don't forget that Ember is a sheep. Very important. I really don't know how sheep sound, but I hope I did good. Oh yeah, you're in a. That's right. Thank you, Glenn. I will start categorizing your skellies. But yes, the battle is concluded. You have done it.
Excellent. These bodies are remaining, correct? These monstrous, spidery, multi-limbed. You said they're like 3 or 4 feet tall dudes.
Yeah, the really really tall ones like sort of disintegrated into like a blackish ooze, not unlike what you had thrown up earlier. But the little guys are still there.
Do you mind pulling those into a pile somewhere for me to maybe process at some point?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm a little bit short on bones, and these seem, a little. I think these are fine for me to use, just given the surrounding context.
You see the last sky swimmer hunter guy still left standing is like looking at your skeletons with his spear, like,
It's all right. They're quite safe. They'll do you no harm.
You're a necromancer.
Well, yes. The funny story. I won't bore you with the details, but was Glint given like some kind of badge by the arcane Pensophical, or
I believe you were getting.
I think we have writs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you have
It
a
has
writ
something for the Council of Tal'Dorei.
You do have a writ from the Council of Tal'Dorei saying that you guys are cool by them. You have a letter of recommendation to talk to this Claudia woman in Vasselheim. It definitely doesn't consent to the active use of it, but it does sort of introduce you so that you might discuss arcane rhetoric with and ethics on this topic.
We have writs of operation, but I assure you they will do no harm to anything that is treating them with the same courtesy.
Give me an intimidation check.
Alrighty.
I'll give you a persuasion as well. I want it to be an intimidation, but that's...
Yeah, let me roll that. It should just be a flat d20 for me. That's only a 3.
He goes, and he's just kind of stepping back towards his pretty desperately wounded, bloody wyvern. It's okay.
Well, if it makes any ever mind, I will kind of lock eyes with this dude,
right?
And I will walk by him and kind of reach the hand out to the critter, smell the hand.
Yeah.
And
so you,
if he
as
gets
a sheep, begin to approach the wyvern.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And the wyvern's like,
"Oh no!"
looking down at Ember. Sorry, Ember.
Why is Ember a sheep? Can we unsheep him?
He sheeped himself.
Beverly's like, he sheeped himself.
He was getting involved in magic too big for his britches, and he sheeped himself.
Unfortunately, I don't think I have the means of unsheeping him at this moment.
The hunter is going to say, "Well, I better go hunt down my the other wyverns and get back to Lyringon. I don't." And he'll look. Oh, the last rider got taken. I better go find the other sky swimmer and the other wyvern, and I'll report back that you're You're sure you're okay? You don't need anything?
We should be quite all right. Would you
They're
like
capable of
to
reaching
bring
out to
your...
read something.
Okay. Yes, please send word. Good luck, whatever it is you're doing out here. And he will mount on his wyvern, and the wyvern sort of grumbly, and sort of like, I don't know, stalks its head around like I don't want to fly, basically. But then he kind of gets it under control and the wyvern will take up and off into the blizzard and will quickly vanish within it.
Mhm. Okay. So how many of the I want to say off of the old initiative order, they were chitines. Was that what they were called? The little dudes?
You can make me a nature check to see if you know what it's.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me actually roll that out of D&D Beyond to get used to that. Nature. Okay. It's a 13.
13. Let's see what you know. Alright, here we are. The nasty buggers. Okay. Okay. You for what did you roll?
13.
13. I will simply say that you identify that they are some kind of insectoid-based monstrosity that you would identify with the name of chitine. But more than this about their lore, you do not know.
Do I know if they have bones?
They seem to have a skeletal structure, yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
It's funny that all of your bones are constantly being taken from like tiny creatures that are no bigger.
Yeah.
They're like kobolds and now
Just little dudes. There's a reason why I made all the skeletons like below 5 feet tall.
Yeah, hey, that's fair. They're no bigger than you there, Glint. That's funny.
Yeah, Glint's gonna have the skeletons, I think, pile them up outside of wherever we're gonna finish up camping here.
All right.
Would you all like me to remake the hut again?
You know, everyone just seems really ill. How are people feeling actually? I think I did a little bit of a fight. How are we
Nix
doing?
goes, I'm a little hurt, if I'm being honest. I got stabbed in the stomach really bad.
Yeah, people who need healing, could we just pile around and let me manage that first, and maybe we can take everything else from there. So how does everyone look? Who needs what?
I got a little bit banged up.
Yeah, I could use a little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
Got it. So, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the scroll out and throw Chalice up because I get a little more healing juice that way. And
You throw up a chalice and overtake a Glint in the weirdest thing vomited today and throw up the chalice instead.
cute. Going to open my scroll,
I know, you're good.
reach up to the sky, and pull down this particular.
Much better.
And we're going to do a bunch of healing.
Got it.
So, all right. Okay, you know, who looks absolutely worse?
Nix.
I'm just going to blow through my spells. In theory, we're about to go to sleep.
I think Nix did get some healing, but she took some.
Like,
bad
is there
sticks.
anyone who's just absolutely fucked up?
Nix goes, I think this is supposed to go on the inside, maybe? But it's on the outside, and that's
Right.
worrying.
Yeah. So bring Nyx. I will go to Nyx, actually.
I don't think she's actually doing
And-
that bad, but if her hit points are correct, I don't.
She took a heal.
Oh, right, she took a heal. That's. She's roughed up, but she's okay. hit point wise.
All right. So, the first thing I guess I'm going to do. So I've got the chalice up. And so immediately I have to cast a cure wounds at. Oh, Happy's out. I'm gonna have Happy go touch Beverly. So she's gonna get a cure wounds for.
Well, Beverly's fine.
Beverly's perfectly fine.
Goes,
All
oh
right,
yeah, I'm
then-
okay.
All right, then we'll go ahead and just give this straight to Nick. Let's see, 12 plus 4 is 16. Plus roll that, which is 6. Sorry, all right, so that was 16. I'm figuring out the rest of it because I just rolled the dice, but I've got to remember what is. That's not it though. That's all right. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So 27. I don't know how Nyx is looking with 27 points of healing.
I believe Zarvolg is Jaegering.
Oh,
Good Nix today.
I am supposed to, but I wasn't doing it yet. Yep. Give me a second and I will do that.
Yeah, she's not down too heavy in hit points. She's missing 9 hit points.
All right. Well, then
I
in
was
which
missing one.
in which case, then they would have been completely healed with the first bit. So, all right. 27 minus 11. Damn it. Math. 16. Yeah. All right. So, put them back up to full and shoot the other 11 over to Finch. How's Finch looking?
I think that's pretty good, honestly. They don't need to be like completely topped off. They're okay.
How does Glint look?
Glint's quite all right.
And how does the sheep look?
Well, the sheep looks fine, I believe.
I think the sheep looks
Ah.
delicious.
The sheep
Yeah.
it looks delicious, but I would like to know if the sheep is bloody right now. So long as the sheep isn't bleeding from anywhere, I'll
No, the sheep is a sheep, and any hit point, any damage Ember took would not translate. So that looks like a perfectly healthy sheep.
All right, then in which case, how does, and then just the one like how's Sven looking right now?
Ben is a messed up doggo. He's bleeding.
Oh, absolutely unacceptable.
I think he took the most damage. Maybe not the most severe damage, but he took a lot.
Yeah, oh no, unacceptable. All right, so I will then go over to him.
He limps up to you like really pathetically, like almost
Oh,
excessively
baby.
so,
Oh,
and with his like
baby
paw.
boy. All right, no, okay, no, we're going to make it better. All right, so that's going to be 10 plus 4 is 14. Plus 11 again is 25. So
Oh, that's good. That will
That's
put him
good?
just, yeah, that'll put him just about perfect.
all right, so then she goes and sits next to Zarvolg. And or is he
Zarvolg looks
standing like
offended.
where the hell is Zar? Let's put it that way. Let's start there.
Yeah, he would have been near. He would have come over to you with Fen,
Oh, all right then.
and he looks down at Fen and he's like, you know, it's hard to be a hero if you're going to be a baby about it afterwards.
Elaine will put her hand on you and do, let's see, it's 24 plus 5 plus 5. So, and do 34 points of healing.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Say, not everyone can be as tough as you are.
He's supposed to be.
That's okay. He's just angling for a special present left in his shoes.
Right?
No one can understand you, sheep.
All we
Well,
hear
what's
is bah,
funny-
bah, 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 bah.
Well, what is funny, Zarvolg, is with your primeval awareness, I think like Ember probably thinks you're a pretty cool guy right now. If I'm not mistaken.
He thinks I smell nice.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, it's something you activate, so not yet. Cool. I put a couple of little handouts out there for you folks, for just locations and stuff. Nothing too important. Okay. So you wish you could try and continue your rest?
Yeah, please.
All right. Cool. Glenn, you have a very upset stomach.
yeah.
Not as upset as Nix's stomach.
Nope. In fact, I think Nick's being good and extra hurt in the tummy is just like, she's puking up the black stuff now too, probably. She does like one of those. She's like, and she's gonna go like crawl into the tent and keel over.
Oh,
Yvain's going to look at Glint and say, you may want to look at them tomorrow. Your not magical medicine is better than mine, I've noticed.
certainly. I'm happy to take a look-see and.
We have the salve. Do you think the salve will help her?
Oh, it might actually. We had what was it? 5 jars of it.
3 jars, but they
3
can be
jars with
full.
the full.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a magical solution to her injury, you guys can either roll medicine or let's call it Arcana, either or.
I'm pretty good at Arcana.
Can I offer the help action to Glint because I know the stuff we made.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of you roll an Arcana. Maybe Glenn, you roll Arcana, and they maybe roll Medicine, and you can get all the information because different rolls,
Alright.
different information.
I can do that.
That's a 32 on my Arcana check.
Woo! Yeah, you succeed.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, my medicine check is a paltry 21.
A paltry 21. What is her? She got orange. So, what you guys would know about the how to cure her organ damage is that a magic such as a regenerate spell can cure the organ damage. Alternatively, someone can tend to the organ damage and make a DC 15 medicine check once a day, and after 10 successes, the organ damage will be resolved.
The captain's ointment won't help us here, unfortunately.
So it might more be a matter of time and.
We did something with the white willow bark. I might still have some in my herbalism kit. You did something for Beverly some time back.
It was a painkiller, yes. Didn't really help speed the process. It just alleviated the symptoms a little.
So, are we going to try to? Do we need to get a hold of the Council of Tal'Dorei and try to get transportation?
I have the 2 scrolls for sending, one for marking down and one for use if need be. I could send that tonight, or we could try in the morning whenever it's more likely people are fully awake and aware.
We can actually get a hold of one of the council members while they're sleeping.
If you wish it,
Well,
by all means.
I mean, we should maybe wait for Ember to wake up or to unsheath
Unsheath himself.
to make the said decision. But yeah,
Wouldn't want to make any choices with a wool over our eyes.
the benefits to doing a dream or being able to answer questions and such. Ascending you could do immediately, but we're limited to 25 words, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Whichever.
There's no reason we can't do both. If you want to work your dreaming spell tonight, assuming Ember is unsheathed. And then in the morning we can do the sending to the crew of the vessel we traveled on.
You may look over at Zarvolg. Can we?
Yeah.
You, actually. I don't need to be a part of it necessarily.
I need I need a little time to attune, but we can do it. Also, remember the last time we tried to contact Aurora, she was blocking us out.
Which is why you're going to contact the coin mistress, Exalia de Rolo.
Oh,
I can do it if you prefer. I had something of a conversation with her.
That might be better.
As you wish.
All right, so we just have to wait for him to attune. He doesn't have the Boney blade attuned right now.
Okay. What is everyone else doing as you're attuning for an hour?
Glint is going to ritual cast a few defensive measures, just in case we have even more things come at us in the night or in the morning. He'd like to lay down a few alarm spells, if possible, using the audible version of the spell. And then also probably recast a tiny hut, I think. Well, actually, that was sinking into the snow the last time. Have we hit bedrock yet with the skeleton ring?
Have you hit bedrock yet?
Solid, actual ground.
That's true.
Vector.
Right,
yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you're asking. Sure. Yeah, let's say yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, then he'll cast the tiny hut on that as well. He is going to use that opportunity to burn the 2 current charges in the protective verses to redistribute some more temp HP to the skeletons, because they've been taking some hits lately.
I will say your hole is slightly filled with that black tarry substance from your...
Okay.
Cast a little tiny hut over a 10-foot radius.
Nope, that's just a... Let's do at least 2 alarm spells, I think. We're kind of in a blizzard, so they can come from all angles, so relatively close, I think, to the sphere as we're going to cast it. And then I'm going to distribute 1 roll of 11 and 1 roll of 10 temp HP with 2d10 for each of those to my skeletons.
Fair enough. Okay. Beverly's gonna get in with her glowy spear of destiny. Someone probably shepherds the lamb inside. And yeah, I imagine everybody kind of hacks in. I'll say Nyx gets in here because the tent isn't actually hers. So I believe Finch and Beverly were gonna sleep out in the tent. And it was your watch, Paladin Finch. So you are there, and you did so with... Who were you taking watch with?
It was with Glint.
Glint and I.
Right. Okay, so everybody settles back in for a watch. I will say, Zarvolg, you're probably going to fail a long rest if you attempt to attune, because you've already taken a watch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's correct.
We can wait till the morning. Do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if everyone
That's fine.
heads back to sleep, because a bit of time has gone by. If everyone had, I'll say that we're getting close to the end of the hour, because they say if you do too much stuff over the course of one of those hours, then your long rest will be officially disrupted. Between getting up, seeing the riders, hanging out with them, battling, putting all the corpses right, healing, setting this up, we're getting a little close for comfort down the end of that hour. And maybe we all find our way back to our watches and rests, so we may continue that. Okay. The blizzard does not abate. You guys go inside there. Glint, you still have this very bad feeling all over. And you guys can wrap up your watch if you want to. And our last watch goes to... Oh, and at that point, as the watch comes to an end, you see that the sheep that's asleep is no longer a sheep. It is Ember. And Ember is presumably asleep.
Oh, excellent.
You just had to sleep it off.
Yeah, I just slept off.
You just
and
Bruce
sheep
Bannered
himself.
out of being a sheep.
Yeah, basically Bruce Banner. Sheep. Who hasn't taken a watch? Who's left? Who do we got? It was Yvain. No, Yvain was up.
Yvain
Yvain
was
was
with
with Beverly.
Beverly. Yeah.
Yvain was with
Ember will
Beverly.
take the last one.
Yeah, it was Ember at the last watch. So Ember, you wake up or are awoken to quite happily find yourself no longer a sheep. And yeah, you can take your last watch and nothing bad will happen. I'm gonna roll for the weather out here in the nether fields because it's not usually nice weather. You awaken. You know that the sun's out there somewhere because it's slightly brighter than it was a minute ago, but it's still blizzarding pretty hard.
Okay. So that's a proper long rest?
That is a proper long rest. You may all mark off the button.
Ooh, okay. I have so many things to cast and do. All right. Let me find that long rest button here. I haven't used a D&D Beyond page in a long time. So, in the morning, if the party is amenable, Glint would like to take a little bit to try and strip enough flesh from the chitines to properly cast Animate Dead and create skeletons with them.
I will say that you simply need cast Animate Dead to get new skellies, and they will just kind of like peel themselves out of their flesh, basically. Out of their
Awesome,
meat
perfect.
suits.
Excellent. And
It
do
is-
the
it is-
chitines have... oh, go ahead.
I was just going to point out very pointedly that it is lucky that it's blizzarding so hard out there, because it would be a truly horrific sight to see like a skeleton rip itself out of its body.
Yeah.
Like very much like starts ripping its own flesh off of itself in big chunks of meat like a werewolf until like the skeleton is revealed and then it finally stands up. So that's horrible, but luckily it's
Yeah.
very blizzardy out. Sorry, please continue.
Oh no, by all means. So I am kind of tweaking my prepared list a little bit. However, so there's 8 bodies here. Animate Dead, I believe. Let me double check.
Ooh, there's more than 8 bodies, my friend.
Oh, how many are there?
Let me just... Oh, why is there so much goddamn fog? Oh, right, this thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bodies.
Okay, and how many of those were the elves?
None, because
Oh, okay.
one elf flew away in fear, one elf was killed immediately and sort of flown away by his wyvern, and then the hunter left. So none of those are the elf.
Got it. Okay, fun. So, I guess I'm gonna burn a 5th level, first off, to animate, that'll be 6 of them.
6 additional?
Yeah, so basically, for 3rd level, I can animate 2 because Necromancer boosts it by 1. And then every upcast is another 2 additional undead I can animate. So 5th level would animate a total of 6 skeletons, and then a 4th level would animate a total of 4. So that'll get me 10 skeletons out of that group.
Hell yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. I will
And you
give you
said they
basic
were-
skellies for now because
Yeah.
to mark those because they're not armored like your
Mm-hmm.
mega skellies are. So 10 of them.
Correct. And you said there were 12 or 14 total.
14 total.
Got it. Okay. So let me mark off my slots.
Hey, fun fact: these skellies that rise, these like 3 foot tall weird creatures, they have 2 sets of arms, which is fun.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I could do some things with that. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to re-ask. You said there were 14?
14.
Okay, I will toss another 4th level. And animate another 4, so we get all 14 skeletons up and running.
Does this include your reasserting control of your old skellies?
No, that is where my last 4th level slot goes.
Got it. So, how many more? Sorry. So you did. Okay, you got all of them.
Yeah, correct.
There's 14 of them. You got all of them. All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let me get rid of them. They are able to be equipped with daggers.
Okay. How many daggers do they have?
As many as you want, because these guys like were basically. It seems that they were producing these daggers like out of their bodies.
Oh.
So I will say each one. Well, their bodies aren't really producing them anymore. So we'll say each one's got like two daggers.
Got it. Would they be able to make offhand attacks with those?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
There. 14 skellies.
Excellent. +5 for the base squad. That's 19 undead. That will take Glint like a while. It would take him like a good 5 minutes. Sorry, I was wanting to make sure my necessities were out of the way this morning. Ritual casting, water breathing, and then we have the sending scroll. Did you want me to try to reach the airship?
So I feel stronger today, and I've certainly rested. I could probably cast the spell that turns Fen into Dino Fen and fly us so fast. Probably cast it 3 times today. I don't know if Ember has a way of sort of tracking our location and could find a way to tell them to meet us, unless it'd be better for us just to wait here.
I believe our plan was to head for the coastline. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be cold, but I can get us there.
I'm gonna put a detail down before it is forgotten. It took you guys 3 days to get here from your mom on the sky ship, which did a return voyage, is what they said they were doing. So, just to keep in mind.
So we might have to hold out for a while.
Well, the following question is: do we, as much as it may or may not suck, and the answer is may, perhaps just logging it towards the coast, we let them know we keep in motion, though slowly, and we can do a dawn and dusk we are here thing into the sky as a beacon, and that should be sufficient to the task.
I have an idea. I do not know if it's necessarily a good idea. If you give me an hour to refresh some of the magical channels in my body, there are trees around here. I could try and create something of a sled or a wagon, and we could have the skeletons pull it. They don't really tire.
I think that if speed is our issue, I think we should save that for when I can't fly us. If speed is our issue.
I would rather save that. In my estimation, we should save that against emergency need. If we can, make the Donner Party here do the work for us, why not do it that way? These folks were able to find us despite having flown to get here. So if there's a beacon of some sort, I would rather have that flexibility as a tool in the box. In my estimation, that's a smarter use, because if they're going to crop up, they're going to crop up. We don't have the ability to dodge that, because this was as big a dodge as we could manage, and we still got. Because we're carrying a come and eat your evil here.
Neon sign.
So if we can turn these into sled dogs, then so much the better.
Then mush.
All right.
Yeah.
Could anyone
I'm
fell a few
comfortable with it.
trees for me?
Yeah, sure, I can handle that as well. Before I go out into the wind and the snow and do that, though, a couple things. One, I believe in the last bunch of loot that we pulled out of the dragon's cave, there were some pretty warm-looking boots in there. Seems silly not to put those on someone if we're about to trek across the tundra. So I suggest we go through that stuff.
I agree.
Two, and this one's going to be a little bit more conversation, I'm sure. We don't know what this crown does, other than that we've been told that it's evil. I do know that I heard that whatever those things were last night said that they'd specifically come for the crown. Now, I don't know if I know that not having it on someone's head is calling things to us. I don't know that having it on someone's head doesn't give us the ability to stop that or to deal with it better. Now, I understand that most of you aren't comfortable with it, and that's fine. And I understand that we were told that it's terrible evil, and that's fine as well. But we've been told a lot of things were terrible evil in our lives. I come from a place of terrible evil. Yvain's have terrible evil. Glint chose terrible evil. So terrible evil.
Finch is perfect.
Yeah, right. And Finch is perfect as always. It might not necessarily be the case that just because we've been told this thing is evil, doesn't mean it can't be useful or helpful to us. That being said, oh, there was something else that I was going to say about that. Anyway, I really. Oh, yeah. The other thing was, we're taking this thing to Vasselheim, so that we can drop it off with someone else who we assume is going to be better at keeping it or know better what to do with it. And they may. I'm not saying that that individual doesn't exist, but if you've noticed in the past 2 or 3 cities that we've been into, when we arrived, the cities were asking us for help. I don't know that it's necessarily fair to think that Vasselheim will automatically be different. We might be the best choice for keeping this thing protected. I haven't heard a lot of other stories about heroic adventuring groups traipsing across the continent, saving entire cities one after another. It's possible that we are this thing's best bet.
There's a quick thing I want to put in there. Yes, I'll hit you, Yvain, I promise. There is something I want to hit with you, Glint. While casting or maybe listening to Zarvolg speak, probably more accurately when listening to Zarvolg speak, maybe you woke up and maybe you're feeling a little stinging in your fingers, and that's probably from the cold or the battle or whatever magic produced from your fingertips. But as you look at them now, those little prick marks where you touch the crown, it looks not great. There's like little tiny black veins that descend down your fingers. And I do need you to make me a con save, please.
Understood. Okay, con save. That's a 14.
All right, 14. Okay. You, my friend, are under the poisoned condition, and you are suffering from major kidney failure.
Okay. Would this have counted as a save against poison?
This would.
Because I would have.
And you are a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yep.
May
So
roll
go
that?
ahead. Yeah,
Oh,
go right ahead.
That's a 28.
Holy fuck.
Okay.
A 28. Good job, wizard. You feel you're still under the poison condition, but your kidneys have not failed you.
That's good.
But you maybe like some errant scanning might see a little just from the. You guys are probably pretty bundled up, so I'll take it back. But yeah. So Glint, you're poisoned and you're not feeling good today.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, please continue. Yvain, you put your hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do a religion check. I think it's probably going to be a religion check. Might be something else. So based on everything that Zarvolg was saying, I saw the Sphinx, right? She's got all the black stuff. And I saw my friends puking up all sorts of black stuff that's similar in look. I would like to roll to know at this point everything I know about the Spider Queen and her influence on the people she uses as vessels or what have you.
Okay, make me a religion check. See what you know about the spider.
Oh, it's 13, which is not great. Plus 5, 18.
18. She is the god of deceit, of shadows, and spiders. They say that her web of schemes and treachery is laced into her worship, and she deceives allies and enemies alike to gain power, and expects the same from her disciples, who are mostly dark elves. And from where you've come from, and maybe what your mother has said, would tell you that Drow society is woven with treachery, backstabbing, very Machiavellian. They also say that the spider is amongst the gods the most all-knowing, for she sees through the eyes of every spider. So she is more omniscient than most gods are for that purpose. You roll pretty well, but that is what I will give you because a lot of what you've learned is just blanketed in cautious relaying of information, so is with the primary intent of dissuading, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Anything you might have learned would be very like, here's the basics, why she's fucking awful, don't ask more because you don't want to know more. And that's kind of probably what you've been told in life with that role.
Yeah, no, absolutely perfect. So next roll. Amongst my collections of books, there was a specific book on the divergence. So I've been doing some reading on the, and I've got another one on the calamity. So between those two books, what were the betrayer gods doing that put them at odds with the prime deities?
Okay,
And
that's
can
a
I
big
think
one.
of how that would have any connection to what's going on, like with how we're feeling?
That's a big one. Roll me a religion check. This is a very high DC because that is some old lore. But you got the book. I'll lower it a little bit, but it's some big stuff.
All right, so that is a 16 on the dice. I have not rolled my cosmic omen dice. Can I roll that to see what it turns up as?
You may, yes.
Surprising no one. It is a 9 or a woe, which will not help me right now.
Okay, so what was your total?
It's going to be 21. 16 plus 1. It's 16 plus 5.
21. Okay, you'll learn a little bit. So you think back as to what's created the sort of divergence between the betrayer gods and the regular gods. So there were a number of events that occurred, and I'm not gonna go crazy here with lore, but I will give you what just because it's a lot for that reason alone. So in the beginning, the first era of civilization was known as the Founding. In the Founding, that was when tumultuous forces of chaos, unbrindled fire, seething oceans, churning rocks, blah, 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 where the world was created in primordial creation, and the gods arrived from an unknown realm to create this place, and many things happened. The Arkheart created the first children of the world, the elves, and the Allhammer created the dwarves, and so on and so forth. And they all began to create things in the world. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. The gods were all super cool during the founding. I will share that handout for a more explicit detailing of that event. And then there was the schism. Basically what happened was the great primordials of the past, the enemies of the gods, from an unknown creator arose titans of stone and fire and ice and wind, and they hashed it out with the gods. It was humongous destruction, and that is what caused the divide. Some of the gods were full of grief and anger and tried to convince the gods to join with the primordials to reclaim the world alongside them, so they could start anew, basically like sort of mull over the world and destroy what was past to create something new and better in the wake of all this destruction. And some of the gods said no. They wanted to protect what was and work with what they already had. And thus the betrayer gods and the prime deities, the two factions formed. The betrayers joined with the primordials, and the the prime deities stood on the other side. So the schismatic deities, known as betrayer gods, joined their songs and swords with those of chaos and destruction, taking and twisting their children into the images of their intent, such as the drow, the demons, the devils. Once others wished to prove they could tame the world for their beloved children, and they became the prime deities. So one side wanted to start anew, one side wanted to try and tame the world, and that is when the schism happened, and it was a humongous clash of gods and primordials that spiraled out of control, and the rest is history. There's a lot more history there that we could expand on in another one, but if you wanted to know what divided them, was that when the world was a tidal wave of chaos and destruction, some of the gods said, no, let's keep the elves and the dwarves and everything that is and try and tame the world. Whereas the other ones said, let's start anew with the primordials. And the schism began. And that was the war between the gods and primordials.
And I want to understand. So the ones who wanted to just start anew were sort of like, let's kill everyone, let's wreck everything and start from scratch. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding.
Yeah, they wanted a blank slate. They were like, okay, the world's fucked, everything's fucked. Like, let's just start anew. Like, let's just start
It's
fresh.
giving Thanos. I get it. Yeah, no.
It's giving Thanos, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Gods gave man magic and subdued the primordials and so on. So that was it. The betrayers kind of joined with the primordials, and the prime deities joined with the mortals. So, and that's the schism.
Yvain's going to look at Zarvolg. Are you a man of your word?
I am.
If you say you're going to do something, you do it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of a code. Would you trust someone whose code was built on deception? Ally or enemy, it didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the accumulation of power for the sole purpose of destroying, like literally destroying life on Exandria to start anew.
Well, no, I suppose not.
So the Spider Queen, who is connected to that particular vestige, she's a goddess of deception. She's as cruel to her own people as she is to her enemies. She cares only for power. And she'd just as soon kill everyone and start over. It's folly to trust her. Even the drow don't trust her.
I will just put out there, Yvain, that the divide, the reasons for dividing, that was a very long time ago. That was thousands and thousands of years ago. So, yes, this is true.
Do I have reason to believe that she's changed in her nature?
I don't know about changed in nature, but my point is that final intent may have changed. They might not be as into wiping the world clean. There's been a lot of history between now and then. That is the original reason for their divide.
He's welcome to question me on it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just putting that forth. Just be clear.
Again, I'm not debating whether or not the crown is evil. I take that at the word that we were given. And no, I'm sure happy to believe that Loth is evil as well. But I grew up in the literal shadow of Bane's armor. I have the blood of Magoobliet in my veins. If we can live with these things, shape them to our own individual needs, and control them. Right now, we have a dog off a chain. It's causing us problems while we're not doing anything with it. We're not even exploring the alternative of trying to tame it, trying to contain it.
I think that there's going to be a cost with trying. And Glint's going to hold up his hand with the exposed veins the points of corruption from the pricks of the crown. I, by and large, Zarvolg, agree with you. I think that there's a great deal of use to be found in things often viewed as dark, but there's a difference between a tool that can be used for good or ill and a device that itself inherently corrupts. I believe that we have in our hands the latter, not the former. And that is far more dangerous.
I understand and I agree with everyone's hesitation. Well, I understand everyone's hesitation and I'll agree with whatever the group decides. As a concession, knowing that Yvain doesn't want to try it and it's making everyone else sick, I'll volunteer to try to wear it as far as I can until we get it to Vasselheim, whatever. We at least find out in the meantime what it's capable of. And then if we decide we want to be rid of it, we turn it over.
Your dog doesn't like it. Period. End of sentence.
My dog
Can we
doesn't like
save that
Brussels
as the last
sprouts.
resort, Zar?
Sure. But yeah,
I would
what do we
destroy
know
this
when
thing if I thought it would die in moonlight. I'm certain the reason they had it locked up was because it couldn't be destroyed.
Like I said, I'll respect the group's decision. I think that we're traipsing across the continent trying to find answers for how to combat and encroaching evil that's greater than we currently are. And I'm not sure that we're not casting one of these answers aside.
I understand the logic there.
Yeah, I carry the astral scroll across the breadth of Tal'Dorei, thinking very much the same thing.
So if there's concern for Zarvolg to wear it, who else would?
I will put out in this moment, as some of you maybe look around at your party, I'll say everyone is looking a little pale, a little sickly looking, except pointedly Yvain, Zarvolg, and Beverly.
Yvain, Zarvolg? Yeah.
Everyone else just looks a little pale, a little dark around the eyes. And all of these individuals have also, either in body language or vocally, would have expressed some level of discomfort since the party's acquiring Crown.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Let's call it a caveat. If you want to use it, I understand the logic present. And I know that you understand our apprehension. So if you allow me to, at the very least, cast some divinations to properly understand the broad strokes of what it is that we're carrying before we decide whether to stick it on someone's head or try and lock it away. I doubt that I'll be able to. I doubt I'll be able to define the entirety of it. But
I think it's probably. I think it's probably a good idea for you to do that, regardless.
Actually, I would counsel against it, and here is my rationale. First, Yvain has been kind enough to point out that the nature of the entity of which this inhabits some vestige of their power and influence is rooted in deception. that will immediately put in question any answer provided by divination.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, very valid.
Very good point.
And with that as a reasonable premise, it's very likely that no offense, Glint, but not all knowledge is worth having. Sometimes all knowledge has a cost, and sometimes it's not worth having. Either the temptation is too large, the ramifications, the outcomes are more than somebody would want. Plus, the more this thing was locked away in such a way as to make it neutral. The powers that be set a guardian over it, one that they would have deemed capable of dealing with its guardianship. That guardian stood for a lengthy period of time. And when this thing was partially rendered active, it drove them insane. For the Sphinx needs help and mental clarity. I don't want that to happen to any of us. Now, we are physically sick, and that's horrible and rotten and miserable. But we have shunted it away into a space where its influence is lessened. It's not gone, but it's lessened.
Mm-hmm.
And those who have a tie of some sort are clearly not feeling the same degree of effects. Given what it's doing to people who oppose it, the risk seems very, very large. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I understand, use your opponent's tools against them. I understand that, but some tools are bigger than you want to be able to use, or you even can use. Just because it's a crown and a circlet doesn't mean that it's not a tool sufficiently large as to be uncontrollable.
Some things are larger than the space they occupy. That is true.
I think Beverly might squeak out. She might say, I mean, yeah, maybe not wear it, but I mean, if I was, I don't know, if anyone was to wear it, I mean, why not you, Yvain? I mean, you hate it and you want to destroy it and everything. I mean, if someone was to, but it sounds like you probably shouldn't.
If it comes to it, then yeah, I will.
Well,
I mean, you dealt with
out
the
of
scroll thing, and you know about that kind of thing.
Exactly.
and
Last
more
resort.
importantly, out of all of us, Yvain is probably the most warded. And Ember will hold up his finger with a ring onto it. If there is influence to be had there, that piece of protection may give you an advantage, as does your familial background, perhaps. But I would presume that it is going to have an outsized influence of some kind as well. And that's not insignificant. And I'm not willing to put you at risk. I saw firsthand what the Eyeless's influence was like for you, and I don't think that's a fair burden. But I will support you however I can.
If need be, I can continue to bear it for longer. It is certainly spreading a sort of corruption that I find may well be worse at its epicenter. But I think I can keep weathering it for at least a few more days.
All right, well, I guess maybe let's send the sending out to the ship.
Right.
Let's get the skellies out, and we're making a sled, and I'll wear the damn thing if I have to, but right now I don't.
I'll need as much wood as you can get in relative proximity. It doesn't have to be all piled up, but stay within a good 50 paces of me.
We'll say that your favorite children stayed to protect you, but your new disciples all went out wood chopping. So we'll say that there is a rather large pile of not intensely healthy debris, but there's certainly enough to make a slide. That's your intention.
Yeah, Glint's plan is to use fabricate to make a giant sled, because as long as it's not metal or mineral or stone, you can create a large object, which can either be the full, 2x2, too tall, or it can be 8 interconnected cubes. So I was thinking like a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long sled that the party could be on, with some hooks or mounts for rope to have the skeletons basically pull it along.
Hell yeah! There's your sled. Santa from hell.
Nice.
This makes Finch supremely uncomfortable.
I don't think that's what's made it.
I imagine there's a horrible moment. Now, this Glint does need to have about an hour first to use Arcane Recovery to refresh the 4th level slot. So that's going to be when the skeletons are chopping, and Glint's going to be working with the sending scroll probably as well.
Got it. And that large sled is probably gonna. What do you intend to use the sled for? Like, how are you doing? What's that doing?
Yeah. So the idea is we're trying to head northwest to follow the coastline, if memory serves, from what we discussed last session, which is still very cold, still snowy. So I think basically using some of the skeletons as mush dogs because they don't get tired.
Right.
and just having them keep on pulling us while the party can at least be in the back without having to get tired, and also can rest or use resources if need be.
Okay.
Yeah, because they can go beyond the normal 8 hours of travel without
Okay.
consequence at that point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Things certainly get interesting travel-wise. Because the reason why you travel so well is because Zarvolg's around. So while he requires rest, things will slow down pretty significantly. Regardless. Okay, so you're making one large sleigh.
Yes, correct.
Okay. It's gonna be the shittiest sleigh in the world, but it's basically about this big. Is what we'll say, and then, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So your reindeer of four-armed Spider Queen monsters.
Yeah.
Are going to get ready. Drag you guys along.
Yeah, I figure
Damn,
like
man,
maybe
this is giving making of the pyramids right now.
figure 8 of them is sufficient, right?
Yeah, 8 of them is probably sufficient. You probably should have one at the front with a guiding light, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably pretty important. Okay, and then the rest of them can walk with. Yes, of course.
Gonna
And
be
you guys can make
a 10 wide, 20 long sled, basically.
10 wide, 20 long.
You could theoretically incorporate like proper seating and railing as well. Like you could make it amenable, but it's gonna look a little rough. I imagine whenever he finally casts it, you see the pressing up of a pattern against the wood of the trees as if a bone structure is forming underneath it that shapes it into the necessary forms. It all just cracks together and assembles itself.
Can I ask, are you proficient with carpenter's tools?
I am.
Okay, then a sled indeed is what you have, and it is a nice sleigh. It is Santa would be proud. And this may just be like a shitty bunch of pieces of wood, but it's very nice. Trust me, it's a very nice sleigh. I'm sure we don't want to sit here and watch me build a Tailspire sleigh. But yeah, you guys can proceed with your travel. And even if it wasn't a good sleigh,
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, did we want to divide up that loot first?
Right.
Yeah, loot.
Yeah, so that's all listed in the sheet, the group handout. So we got the money there. Is it divided 6 ways? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah. Beverly's a squire, not an equivalent share, if memory serves.
Yeah, squire just gets room and board, basically.
So it would be effectively 33 platinum, 333 gold. And 2,666 silver apiece. With some spare change, technically. Then I can divide the copper if we want.
I'm sorry, how much was the silver again?
2,666. I'm sure that's not ominous at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not foretelling at all. Asmodeus is like. All right. Come on, Finn, you silly boy. All right, so this is pretty much your Secret Service situation here. You have a small skeleton army entourage that'll surround your sleigh, and the 9 sledmen, we will call them, who will travel forth. And way at the front of all of that is Zarvolg and Fen, who will be scouting ahead and ensuring that the path is as easy to travel on as possible.
Sorry, I meant there were some items in that.
Yes, there are as well. There's and also a huge number of gemstones. So there's a potion of growth we still have left over. 2 potions of greater healing from the current loot. We have the hide boots.
Those. Do we know what those are?
Not yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure out of character.
strange hide-looking boots with ice sort of, almost like heavily gripped-looking ice sort of frozen to the bottom.
Yeah.
Do we want to try those on, or can someone identify them, or are we afraid of everything?
I think once we get the sled underway, since
Yeah.
we can actually sit
Sure.
on that comfortably, Glint can probably identify all the items.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I want to know what they are too, especially that crossbow.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
that's what I'm really after, but the boots are a good cover.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
like, yeah, the boots. Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so first, you're identifying these items, Glenn?
Yeah, once we can get the sled moving, definitely is going to identify it. We have the pair of finely crafted hide boots with frigidly cold soles, a gold chain necklace with cylindrical red gemstones, and a really big crossbow with 6 firing arms.
Damn, having a hard time remembering what that necklace was.
I was assuming it was like a periaptive wound closure or something along those lines, but I could be
No.
wrong.
There's no parry. I'll think on it and get back to you guys about that. But the boots are, and I will read the description. What? Oh, oops. Sorry. They are the boots of the Winterlands. Boots of the Winterlands. They require attunement. They're uncommon items. They are fur snug-lined boots. And if anyone has them on or tried them on, your feet surprisingly are very warm inside, despite the frozen ice to the bottom of the boot. While wearing them, you have resistance to cold damage, and you ignore difficult terrain created by ice or snow. You can also tolerate temperatures as low as negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit without any protection. If you wear heavy clothes, you can tolerate temperatures up to negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So you are very warm while you wear these.
Yeah, that sounds amazing for Zarvolg or for potentially Finch as well as a frontliner.
Yeah, Finch, are you interested?
No, I have my boots of elven kind.
Yeah, I was actually thinking. I was thinking maybe Nyx. I'm not affected by adverse terrain, but I thought Nyx maybe could use, a little magical item.
Hell yeah, I'm fine with
Cool.
that.
Well, why don't we hold on to those until
Unless
Nyx
somebody
arrives.
else wants them. All right.
I'll toss out there. Beverly struggles as a frontliner.
Oh, there you go.
I
Beverly's
don't
another
know. Whatever you want to do, it's all up to you guys. But she has struggled from getting from point A to B lately. But maybe she needs something a little bit more intense. Okay, I'm looking up your item there, Zarvolg. Glint, you cast Identify on this ballista, and nothing happens. This doesn't seem to be a magic item.
Interesting. Huh. Could I testingly, just to be paranoid, actually, I don't know if Glint would know about that. Would Glint be able to look this over and just kind of see, like, is this just a normally made item? I don't know if he would know about, like, obscuring ways of hiding enchantments and whether or not to test for that as well. That is up to you.
What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm considering whether it would be normal for Glint to know whether or not the features of an enchantment could be hidden or disguised.
Do you think Glint would know about something like that?
I think given his general little bit of paranoidness, he would.
Okay.
Yeah. If
Fair
that
enough.
seems reasonable, I think he would probably tag it with a Dispel Magic and just check again.
You cast Dispel Magic, and it just kind of plummets out into the ether. Your magic spell doesn't seem to touch anything illusory or abjurative that you might have expected.
Interesting. Okay. So as far as I can tell, this is just a normal ballista.
But meant to be handheld.
Potentially, maybe a very large creature wielded it, or I mean, I could work on enchanting it later if you wanted, whenever we're, somewhere that isn't the freezing north. We have all those dragon parts. We could make some sort of enchanted dragon ballista, maybe.
Can I have a look at it?
Absolutely.
All right. I will, can I give that a look and see what I can determine? Maybe play with the, the bows and levers a little bit, the trigger, sighting, that kind of thing.
Make me an investigation check.
Could I assist as Glint's kind of going over it with him?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and take advantage, Zarvolg.
Okay. That's good. Because I needed it. No! At advantage, I got a 6.
Ooh.
You're not sure how this thing works. It's cool, and it's definitely handheld. Like, you could, like, it looks like it's usable, but there's parts of the contraption that evade your understanding.
It's not like a ballista, though, that like we think of, like seated on like a turret on a keep wall or anything like that, right?
It looks like one, but it's smaller. It's more compact. I'll actually shoot you guys a picture of exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm trying to be careful not to. It's going to be a bit of a shitty picture because I'm trying not to ruin its items or its features. But yeah. I will post it in the Zoom chat. Oh, excuse me. The Facebook chat. Today. Save to God. You're fucking here, man. There we go. Okay, coming at you guys in 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, sorry it's all cut up. I'll give you a better picture later, but the stock is just a little longer, and that is generally the crossbow.
All right. Can I, since we're riding along and spending some time, can I just, I guess, while away the hours fiddling with it to see if I can get anything figured out with it?
Okay, I'll tell you what. What was your total?
my roll was a 6 for investigation at advantage.
Got it. I will say you spend like an hour fiddling around. Well, you're out there mushing the crew along, right?
That's right. I am out there. You're right. I don't have time to do this. Okay.
But Glint is taking a short rest to recover spell slots, if I'm recalling that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So then, over the course of that hour, Zarvolg, you can fiddle with it. I've got to make you an item, which I'll be working on presently, but you'll figure things out. First of which is that it's got it's got a couple of words wrote on it in common. It says Bastilla, seems to be the name of this crossbow, and under it it says, "We master our breath, we master our mind." Is like words wrote under it.
That sounds like exactly my kind of thing.
There you go. But you learn its features over the course of this hour as you fiddle with it. It takes a while, but eventually you kind of figure it out. You can use a bonus action to deploy the Bastilla's stand to gain advantage on your attack rolls. You can either deploy the Bastilla on half-cover-sized objects, or you can choose to go prone and deploy it on the ground.
Like a sniper. It's cool.
You're also retracting the stand also requires a bonus action. Attack rolls have disadvantage while moving with the stand out. So if
Yeah,
you have the
okay.
standout and you're not properly braced either on the ground or half cover, you're at disadvantage. But you're at advantage when you are.
Interesting.
And it is considered a
right.
heavy crossbow. So big dice.
Ah, right.
Pretty
Okay.
cool. And it's
Alright.
not technically magical, so it could also be later on enchanted. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. What size dice does the
A D10.
D10?
D10, yeah.
Nah, it is a D12. This one does a D12. I have
Okay.
proclaimed and decided.
Very cool.
All right. Because
I
of
will begin to make you an
all the bows. Because of all the
Alright.
resistance.
I'll also remind you, actually, Glenn, I'll put it to you really quick too.
Mhm.
It is possible to transfer enchantments. It destroys the original item, but like Zarvolg has this heavy crossbow warning. If you wanted, you could transfer the warning enchantment into this new crossbow.
Oh. We would make note of this for Zarvolg's benefit.
All right. Well, we'll set that back in the sled for now. That was fun and interesting.
I apologize about the necklace. I am going to search through my notes and see what the hell that was. Because I don't remember. Man, what a bummer. Yeah, not sure what it was, but I will get back to you guys and I will tell you what that is just as soon as I find out. But it was a necklace, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will work on that.
All right. Do you have a description of it? Oh, you did write the description down, right, Glint?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
And it was, gemstones, you said, huh?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. It had like, I think like 6 cylindrical red gemstones.
Oh, I know what that was. That is a necklace of fireballs.
That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
My apologies. I was like, rubies. No, it's not. But it is a necklace of fireballs. You learn that essentially each bead is the power of a fireball inside of it that can easily be popped off the necklace and thrown at somebody, and then you can ruin their whole day.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I need to tell you how many jewels are actually on that necklace. There are 5 beads hanging from your necklace of fireballs. It is a non-attunement rare item. DC 15, 3rd level fireballs.
You want to give it to Nyx?
That seems
I mean,
It's like, fuck yeah!
unless Ember's already got the wand and other things. You seem like you're pretty attuned up right now. I don't mean to take it away from you. And if I is kind of your thing.
I mean,
I'm okay.
You sure? Okay. I mean, does anybody else want it?
I mean, I'm always drawn to things that explode, but I'm happy if Nyx has it instead. I was given this delightful gift of bones, so I'm quite happy.
So I have my new scroll, and actually, while they're all doing their thing, I'll have my scroll out, and I'll be putting Bahamut on my star chart. Not that anyone's ever going to get this other one because it will be with me forever.
I'm going to say that will be very difficult traveling along in the back of a sleigh in the tempest blizzarding winds. It's like, so
Can I look at it
very
longingly?
Sorry?
Can I look at it longingly, study it a bit?
You can certainly look at it longingly. You have to like hold the sides as tightly as you can against the harrowing wind, but yes, you can. Absolutely, of course. Okay. And you set off into the winterscape. Hell yeah. Let's see how your day goes. Apparently not that well.
Okay.
Perfect. Somebody roll D100. You want to see how your day goes?
Okay. That's going to be a 62.
62. Huh. That's cool. Zarvolg, you see something up ahead, and you probably halt the train.
Yeah.
You see what ahead of you, what looks to be like some kind of hole.
A hole, like in the ground?
Yep.
Or in the in the atmosphere.
In the sky. No. In the ground ahead. Yeah.
All right.
It's yeah.
Is it a big hole? Or can I not tell from here?
It's why don't you make me a perception check? I'm going to give you disadvantage because it is so very blizzardy out here today.
Ooh, can I offset that with advantage from my eagle eyes?
Yes, you may.
Eagle eyes. It's going to be a 24 on a flat roll.
You see there's a big frozen pond coming up ahead of you all, and there is a jagged hole seemingly in the center. It appears recent. Like you can see the water. But it's a jagged hole right in the middle of the pond.
Are we already
only
on
you see
the
this
pond?
Sorry?
Are we already on the pond as far as I can tell?
No, you're at the edge of the pond.
All right.
Or actually, no, I would say that's difficult to know. It's
Yeah,
possible
okay.
you're already on the pond, because the snow's so thick you can't see the ice. But yeah, we'll say this hole is like this cracked hole in the ground. It's about 60 feet ahead of you, so it's very hard to see. So you just kind of came upon it.
Actually, since I'm stopped for this anyway, and now that I have an idea that there's fresh water and it has a hole in it, which doesn't happen naturally as often as it happens unnaturally, can I do a primeval awareness to check for humanoids within a
Sure.
5-mile radius?
You span your senses out to look for humanoids. No humanoids.
Yeah. All right. So I will I'll jog back to the sled past all the skillies. I don't want to play telephone with them.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
they can't talk, can they? Anyway, I'll jog back and tell everybody there's a pond up ahead, but it's got a huge hole in it. There's a pond up ahead, but it's got a huge hole in it, which generally means that the ice is unstable before the hole. Should we just try and go around as much as we can? I can't tell exactly where the borders of the pond are.
I'll tell you what. Quick survival check, Zarvolg.
Yep. Oh, 25. I am all about the checks today.
25. Out here, in this temperature, those don't just pop up for no reason.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Something made that and probably made it very recently.
Didn't the hunters mention the start with an R? Some sort of big monster.
Rememberaz.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Zarvolg, I have a question.
Yeah.
Was the ice around it going in or coming out?
That's a good question. What was it, TM?
I think in your excellent roll, you're pretty sure it was going in.
Yeah.
There's no debris around the hole to suggest that like ice came out and landed. You get the sense it was an in situation.
It looks like it was going in. I do remember the ranger mentioning the remoras or whatever, but isn't there also the possibility it could be our giant white wormy friend?
Absolutely.
Why would that have melted the ice?
I
Oh, I
don't
don't
think
know.
it melted
I
it.
don't know.
I think
I
it
think it
broke
just
it.
broke through.
Oh, interesting.
Hence the
Speaking of
question
breaking
about
through.
which way, where was the debris?
Yeah, going down. Whatever it was went in, didn't come out, as far as we know. Went in first.
Speaking of breaking out, the ice shatters and breaks and cracks open pretty much near to under your sleds, and the head of a white dragon shoots out. And let's go to a break really quick. And when we come back, we'll see just what this surprise round has in store. Yeah, there you go. All right, let me get a couple of things ready for. Okay, let's do this. Screen share. The Bastilla should be ready there, Zarvolg.
I keep thinking Bastilla Sean from
Yeah.
the old KOTOR games.
Hell yeah. Great games, great games. All right, roll them up.
All right, initiative.
Initiative. Oh yeah. To be clear, this happens about an hour after you leave your initial destination,
Okay.
your initial campsite. So this happens pretty early. I need to get out.
Oh wow.
Beverly the Badass.
I've tried to figure out how to do custom attacks for my pets on D&D Beyond, but I can't seem to figure that out. So I'm just going to be grabbing a whole lot of dice over here to the left of me for whenever that happens.
Got it. Sorry, I'm just updating Beverly with her boots real quick.
Beverly's got the boots with the fur.
Yeah.
Boots with the fur.
Hey, those would be real useful right about now, for
Yes.
sure.
I was about to say, I was looking at her stat block, and I'm like, she's gonna be pretty important for whatever happens next. Good thing you have that crossbow warning, my friend, because it's the second time it's gonna save your ass, possibly.
I know, it's been nice. It'd be nice if we can get that transferred over.
Here, put this guy in here. Oh, it's cold resistance. Okay, cool. I've got this Beverly block ready to go now. Okay. Okay, good.
All right, I guess I am Jaegering next.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll that up. Whoa. Nix has a crazy great initiative modifier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bards. Their thing that gives them like half proficiency to all their unproficient skill checks also applies to initiative.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do this. Who's got a 20 plus? Nobody. 20 to 15.
18.
Nix had a 19.
Okay. Yvain? Can't hear you.
16.
16, gotcha. You want to go before or after Beverly?
I'll go after.
Okay. How about 15 to 10?
10.
7.
13.
Got it. Okay, there's the initiative. Despite your weapon of warning, it seems that just we're raring to go. The dragon will go first in initiative here. Which spells a little bit of disaster for certain individuals. First thing it's going to do is what it always does. It smashes through and pours out Aaron Yeager style. I need everyone to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. You guys are fine. You guys would be fine on that note because it was less than 24 hours ago that anybody dealt with dragon fear. So your body's still sort of mentally ready and acclimatized to this potential fear. So you're all good. Didn't even consider that. That's funny. Stupid dragon, fitting perfectly with its intelligence. It attacks maybe a little too early. But it is going to take some opportunity attacks. Or not opportunity attacks, it's going to take some attacks. It's going to look at you, Zarvolg, and it's going to, with its head, and it's going to try and grapple you into its mouth.
Okay.
I need an athletics check.
Don't grapple me, bro.
I'm going to do a little switcheroo because Nyx is not here and I don't want to fucking murder Nyx, so I'm going to just roll, see who the lucky person is. Looks like it's Ember of Exile.
So this is what, contested athletics?
You can roll athletics or acrobatics.
Okay. Trying to decide whether or not I want to saving face this. Let's do it. I'm going to saving face this one.
Got it. It's worth noting, Glint, two of your skellies are in the water.
Are in the what?
Oh.
Water.
Oh, okay.
They fell in.
All right. 23 on the grappling.
23. That is going to be a success as it rolled a 21.
Oh, yeah, it worked out.
It did. It snaps at you and you jump back just in time. It's going to say, "It's mine. I want it." And is going to reach out with its claws to the two people in front of it, which will be Glint and Ember.
Okay.
Why don't we start with you, Glint? Make me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Sure thing. Okay. Athletics, acrobatics. Okay. Same. Actually, not same. Acrobatics is better. 22.
22, that's very good. 22, he is going to roll a 21 again, and you save. Good God. Last is for you, Ember. Go ahead, athletics or acrobatics.
That'd be a 9.
A 9. It grabs you, Ember.
Okay.
It tries to grab 3 of you, but manages to get Ember alone in the end. And sort of, is it you? And is going to dive underwater with Ember in hand. Straight down.
That's bad. All right.
Not the best.
So it's going down into the water?
Yeah, it just dove with Ember in hand.
Mm-hmm. Do any of my skeletons get opportunity attacks?
We shall see momentarily. I'm just making sure everything is... Oh, it's cold in there, Ember.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so let me think here. It would have gone under the water. It wouldn't be able to have been able to have seen them under the water. So I think I'm going to say no for Zarvolg and the Skellies, but I'm going to give it to you, Glenn, because it would have left your range sooner than everybody else with that 5-foot step up on the sled. Because once it exits sight, you can't take opportunity attacks against things you can't see.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No,
I don't
take it
have-
back. I'll take it back.
good.
I take it back. Everybody can make opportunity attacks. I'll say your 2 skellies in the water, your 1 skelly standing on the shore, and yourself, Glint, take opportunity attacks.
Okay. The 2 in the water are the chitin skeletons, right? So they have daggers.
Yeah.
Which I think actually works in the water.
Oh, your skellies need to make wisdom saving throws against the fright.
Oh, right. The
You
ones
roll
that have
one for all of them
four
if you
should
want.
be fine, but the ones that are new would have to roll, right?
That's right.
Okay. Do you want me just to roll like 1 big save or 14d20 on roll 20?
Whatever's easiest for you. Whatever you think is best. If you'd rather do it individually, prefer to be faster, whatever you want.
Alrighty, double checking their bonuses. I think it's a flat neutral. Nope, -1. Okay, so I have a 13 on the first save. Would that be a success or a fail?
That is a fail.
Okay. In that case, the only ones that would matter then that are above that would be a 19 from a nat 20, and
Save.
then 2 14s.
Those would save as well.
Okay. Every other of the new skeletons would fail.
Why don't we say these 2 guys? These 2 guys at the back are okay, and I don't know, this guy over here.
Alrighty.
Picking randomly.
Yeah, works fine for me.
Everyone else, all the other skellies are like, that was terrifying. Okay, so yeah, make sure those opportunity attacks are at disadvantage then from your 2 water skellies.
Okay. And then there's 1 normal skelly with, I think, a rapier. So let me roll that. That's a nat 20. And then with disadvantage, that is a 6. And
a
a
6
nat
will
1.
miss.
Okay.
Not 1. Roll an attack roll against his buddy standing right next to him by accident.
Okay. Still disadvantage. 14, which with standard skeleton AC, I believe would hit. Let me double check. That should hit, yeah.
All right. Roll some damage.
Okay. Then I'll resolve the nat 20 on the rapier. So that is going to be 8 rather, piercing on its friend.
Understood. 8 piercing on his friend. I can mark these off. I'm sure you got a lot to do, so it's fine. Okay.
And then
damage.
8 plus 5, 13, 6 is 19 damage on the dragon.
Ouch. 19 damage on the dragon. Okay, good job. Manages to stick it pretty good, like right under the wing bone as it sort of like dives and sort of tears itself free, doing a bit more damage than expected. All right. Is there anything else, Gwen?
No, Gwen's not gonna burn his reaction on trying to slap something.
Fair enough. Okay. Open palm slap to the face. What was that, Zarvolg?
Zarvolg had a opportunity attack or no?
You're a little far away.
Okay.
You're staying over here. Yeah, the bite was a 10-foot reach, which is how he was able to try and grapple you.
Got it.
Okay, that will bring us to Nyx. Nyx saw all of this, Zarvolg. It was very scary. What does Nyx do?
Yeah. Was Nyx able to see this, or can they see this now? In a way that they can see Ember down in the water or as they were going into the water?
Nyx would have seen Ember being grabbed and then dragged into the water, but given her position, she certainly can't see Ember below where she currently stands. And considering that it's blizzardy and you can't see too deep into brackish water in such conditions.
Can she move to a place to try to see down into the water?
Yeah, she moves to like here and looks down, and it's brackish black water.
As it should be. Okay. You can't hold an action for a spell, right?
You can. It's just that if it doesn't go off before If it doesn't go off before the
Oh,
start of your
you
next
use
turn,
that
it's wasted.
spell slot anyway. Yeah. All right. Oh, so I have to identify what spell it is beforehand?
Yeah, and the condition in which you cast it.
All right. All right. In that case, I suppose, since Nyx can't see anything, no, you know what? I'm gonna take advantage of this situation. I'm going to cast Fly on Nyx.
Okay. All right, Nyx is now flying around. Hell yeah.
Oh, we'll have water breathing. Oh. Well, too late for that.
I believe everybody's got water breathing.
Correct.
When...
Okay. Didn't consider that, but all right. That's all right. I'll stick with the fly for now.
Okay. Is there nothing else?
No, I think I'm gonna save my bardic inspirations. I guess I will have Nyx move back then if they're not able to see into the water.
Okay.
Maybe on the other side, like off the other side of the. Oh no, they're flying, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna fly up into the air.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, like 30 feet.
Damn, 30 feet up? Sure thing.
Yeah.
All right, there she is.
All right. Well,
they are.
Next.
Fantastic. All right, Finch Andegard, your good friend Ember has been dragged into the brackish depths of this terrible place. What do you do?
That's annoying. Is that it? So, like, I'm sorry. So we just see like this puddle. Can we see anything else?
You can't see the dragon or Ember under the water, no.
Okay. That's fun.
As a reminder, if anyone wished to, they could hold their turn. It's a permanent hold down the order past somebody, but if you were to say, like, you know, I want to wait and see if anything happens to Ember, and then take your turn afterward, you could.
How does, for the sake of clarification, how does dark vision work with like this really hard to see through water?
It doesn't, because the water, it's mechanical at this point, but the water is considered obscurity and not like darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So the water is black. I think. Thank you, baby. I think. You know what?
Or you know what? No. I take it back. My apologies. Sorry. I just went and looked through the examples. No, the water darkens it. So I think I would water like basically like makes it darker. So I would say that with dark vision you could peer down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait.
So then, I think I have dark vision.
Yeah. So if you want to step up to the side of their,
yeah, I'm gonna look in. I'm gonna try and look. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's too late, but Nyx does have dark vision, and I was trying to look into the water for the dragon.
Yep.
Is it possible to retcon that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
Because that was my mistake.
All right. In that case,
so Nyx looks down, and her dark vision does let her just barely see their forms.
Right. Great. Then I am going to vortex warp Ember back up here.
Okay. Great. Ember's vortex warp. How long? Yeah. Where are you putting him?
I guess we will put him just kind of where I was, like on the other side of the sled, maybe a little bit. Yeah, so he has a chance to recover from being under the water.
Got it.
All right, and then I'm no longer flying, and I would like to get off and run around the side of the sled, kind of to where Ember is.
Got it. Okay. All right. Perfect. Now it's your go, Finch. No problem. No, that was my mistake.
Okay. And for clarity, because I know that we've been casting different spells in preparations and that we don't have any kind of like like buff going, right? Like underwater breathing or anything, unless we
We
have
have-
some other ability. Do we?
We have water breathing,
Oh yeah, cool. All right.
which we'll cast every morning.
That's what I thought. Okay. So you said you were just able to see the dragon in there
With dark vision, yeah.
with
So
dark
if you step
vision?
up 5 feet, Finch, to start taking a peek.
Yes.
I'm gonna make your little dark vision range, and then we'll go take a look.
yeah.
So
Let's
that's
see.
the extent
Let's
of
see.
your range.
Okay.
So yeah, you can fully see the dragon beneath your feet in the water.
But it looks like it's like pretty. It's close to the edge of my range, right?
It's getting closer, yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna jump in, even though I want to.
Do it.
I don't have enough swim speed to get to it. I could dash to it, but then that doesn't help anybody else. No, I think I'm gonna hold my turn, I feel like, because even though I could go down and get it, then that doesn't make any sense for anybody else. I think I'm gonna hold an attack in case it emerges from this puddle here.
All right, hold an attack, fantastic. That'll bring us to Bev's turn, who's gonna step up. She's gonna say, "Holy crap! I have a ring of swimming, and I have these boots that I can't really feel the cold at all. It's almost like I was specifically built for this particular encounter. And what do I don't know what to do with that. I don't want to go in there by myself. She casts Sanctuary on herself in a panic, and that'll be her turn. She's actively verbalizing about her situation. Okay, that'll bring us to... Yeah, she'll cast Sanctuary and she'll hold her turn to basically, like, dash and jump in should the need require. Yvain and Happy.
Yvain looks immediately to Zarvolg. Where is he? Where is Fen? That's where she is.
Yvain's right there.
So close. All right. She's going to look right at Zarvolg and say, all right, do you want to fly and shoot? Or do you want to have a monkey to grapple the dragon?
Committed.
Fly and shoot.
As you wish. Bonus action. Big old dragon wings. Because fuck this guy. Has polymorph. And we're gonna go for dragon, or we're gonna go for a dino fen, turning him into the Quetzalcoatlus.
Right.
Putting Zar on a flying mount.
Fucking right. Very cool. Is there anything else?
Yeah, can I get away from the fucking ice thing? Can I go away? Is there
Where's away
a way
for
I
you?
can
Where-
go to?
Where do you want to go away?
That looks great. Yes, somewhere away from the people who are doing the fighting and the things would be great.
All right, I'll toss you
Yeah.
over there because it is heavy snow to walk around.
I love it.
Zarvolg,
Yeah,
look at you. You got yourself a flying dog.
right. I would like to mount that flying dog.
All right, half your speed. You're up on board.
All right. And now, he can fly. I guess we're just going to go directly up. But I do have something else I would like to swap, maybe an action or a bonus action for on this turn. So we'll go up. I'd like to hold 30 feet upwards. Zarvolg would like to hold an action to attack.
Okay.
Ben as well, if that opportunity presents itself, but I doubt it.
Sure.
And then what I would like to do, I think we tried this already before, so it's fine to say no. Can I make use of or take advantage of Natural Explorer to determine where this, maybe from this height it's different, to determine where this body of water stops and starts so that I can direct people to non-breakable icy land?
You have about 60 feet of vision. Between.
okay.
Well, that was because of your dark vision, and now that it's the middle of the day, I'll extend that to 80 feet. That's about as far as you can see in the blizzard. Give me a nature check.
Okay.
Give me a nature check to kind of like look at the land and look at the. Yeah. No, yeah, this is more nature than survival, I'm sorry to say. This is more like analyzing, intellectually, like looking at the land and
that's fine.
knowledgeable.
That's a 17.
17. I am going to say that, at least in your visual range, you get the sense that, like, the terrain is kind of lopsided, which I apologize for. Maybe I should have thought of that beforehand. Because a pond would be flat. So you know what? Here's what I'll say. This is what I'm going to do to make things a little more. It's fine. I'm not going to start fighting with this shit. You think that basically, like. Sorry. I usually rely on the terrain, but I kind of messed up the terrain. So.
That's okay.
So here's what I'll say.
My entire intention is just to keep everybody from getting cracked into the icy water at once.
All right. I'm going to make life simple, if a little not as ideal. As far as you can see, you see that it is pretty much perfectly even keel flat, which would tell you that your party is standing on the pond. As far as your eyes can currently see at this time, your party is on the pond.
Okay, that'll do. All right. So Zarvolg's going to hold an action to attack and fend if the opportunity arises.
Fantastic. Okay, Glint Grimhelm.
Hello.
So before you go, let's see here. Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Don't you worry about it.
So with my dark vision, am I able to see deep enough into the water to have an indication of where the dragon currently is?
Yes, you can. You see it.
And if memory serves, we have some table rules around lightning damage when in the water.
That is right. We do. I basically treat everyone in the range needs to make the save.
Okay. But it was a double damage as a benefit.
I think I also going to treat that as vulnerability because that's water and lightning.
Gonna cast a lightning bolt down into the water at the dragon.
Oh, it's gonna love that. Okay. It'll make a. I'm just gonna call it a con save instead of the dex because, I mean, you can't really dodge 300-foot cone or whatever it is.
It's a 150-foot line, I think, something like that.
Yeah. So I'll say that's just pure trying to muster the Constitution instead.
It's a DC 18, I believe.
That'll be a 22 to save.
Alrighty. So it succeeds on the save, and that is against. Okay.
Because it's vulnerable, so it would just take
It's 3, 9, 15, 18, 22, 27, 33, 36 points of damage. I rolled.
Ouch.
3 6s and a 5 out of that set.
That's not bad. You shoot lightning into the ice. Your two skellies probably popped. I will say.
I understand. They
said they got out if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, I can give them commands. The skeleton commands is for them to try and form a loose ring, and then ready an action to shoot or throw whatever they can at the dragon if it surfaces.
Understood.
And that is for like all the skeletons.
Yeah, understood. So I'm just gonna start moving them. It is hard to move because it is. Oh, wait a second. Some of these guys are very scared.
Yeah. But they cannot currently see the dragon.
That's right. But they can't move closer to it, and that is like in their brain, they kind of generally know where it is. So I think they would relate this hole to closer to the dragon.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so the ones that can move. So I'm not trying to get them to ring around the hole because it can pop up out of a different hole. I'm trying to get the ones that can move into a ring around the broader wagon kind of shape, like a loose circle.
So wherever they were standing, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. And I can roll 11d20 for the ones that are currently feared. But the Kytines, they have daggers they can throw. The better skeletons, my precious children, are going to probably ready their crossbows.
Understood.
And since it took a 14 last time to save, I'm just going to use that as a marker of anything that was 14 or higher. 1, 2, 3. 5 of them save, 6 are still frightened.
5 of them save. So I'm just going to make life a little easy on myself and say these guys were like, wait a second. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Okay, fantastic. Sweet. Is there anything else, Glint?
Glint is going to hop out of the back of the wagon and just move directly left, like west, maybe 5 or 10 feet, basically.
Like so?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool. Ember van Zyl, what would you like to do, my friend? What I'd like you to do to start off is you are very, very, very cold right now. I need you to make me a call.
I'm gonna ameliorate that immediately, if it helps you any.
It will be a start of the turn kind of thing, I'm afraid to say. So make me a con save at disadvantage. The water is making it extra cold.
$11.
11. You save. So you're shaking in your boots, but your constitution is holding up. What would you like to do?
Well, first I'm gonna move and park myself immediately next to Glint.
Sure. Where'd that guy go? There he is. Okay, cool.
Action will be prestidigitation. I'm going to choose my torso, and all of that should be warm, and we'll stay that way for the next hour.
Excellent. Fantastic.
And bonus action will be to open Red's flask and let him out.
Understood. What am I doing? Man, my brain ain't working. There's Red. All right, you open your flask and Red pops out. Is that it? Just Red's gonna pop out and that's that?
Yep, okay, cool. That's it.
Still in the smoke form is not creating light. Fantastic. So, let me think. This dragon learned pretty early on that you guys are very fucking mean out the gate. It's stupid, but it's not that stupid. I think it knows what's probably waiting for it upstairs. It's a spiteful fucker though, so here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go here, I think. And as it gets there, you better believe give me a second while I line things up. For old me here. Yeah, he's a bit of an asshole, isn't he? Okay. So let's do this a little differently. 3 dimensions. Okay, and so you would be. Okay, we got. It only cost 15 feet instead. Okay. Let me see here. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. I think really it's just Finch and Beverly. I need Finch and Beverly to make me con saves as this liquid nitrogen breath sprays up out of the water and freezes it shut and hits you 2 in the face. It overrides Sanctuary. And Beverly rolls.
I rolled a 24.
Oh, shit. Beverly rolls a 14, but luckily she has resistance to cold damage, so they'll take half. I suppose it was good that she got this. Then again, she might not have stood right in front of the hole if she didn't have it. Okay, let's see how much damage that is.
Before you roll that, wait, don't roll it.
Okay.
Let me cunning words that.
Cutting words.
Cutting words.
Cutting words.
So cutting words is meant to make, like, kind of like take out someone's saving throw to detriment them as opposed to help them.
It can also reduce the damage roll.
Reduces the damage roll. Yeah, it specifically says.
Yes, but you need to be able to see the creature, I believe, in order to do so.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see the damage. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can't see the creature creating the damage. Great try, though. Great try. So that's going to be 45 reduced to 22 cold damage for Finch and Beverly. Beverly's alive.
So
What's
proud
her
of her.
what's her HP? I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
300.
300. The bad news is that the ground, the hole in the ground is frozen over.
Oh, it throws itself in.
Yeah, it basically froze itself in. There's probably a big snow cone going down in the water there too, as well, like a giant stalactite dragon breath icicle. And frankly, that'll probably be that for the most part. You guys are gonna like stand there and like you got your things and like awaiting, and dragon's gone. You will hear off into the blizzard, some ways away, back towards the original hole. There'll be a and vanish back into the Arctic. But the dragon's ambush has failed, and it retreats.
Guess it didn't want the crown that bad.
We got a Smeagol thing going on here. It's
Which of you speaks dragon?
It'll be me.
Glint? How do I say, run, you cowardly worm?
Well, to be
Quickly.
consistent with the DM's preferences.
Glint can relay the. It's okay. Glint, you relay it. If
I
you
have
want
thaumaturgy.
Shun
I am
looks
going
there.
to be heard loud and clear.
it. Yeah.
You could be wherever you want,
Yeah. No,
but you're not leaving without a taunt.
Absolutely. Flies into the thing and flies into the tundra, and Ember, your voice rings out. Working on it.
I got it for you. You're using the
yeah.
Teutonic translator Twilight Realm.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Zon Wux Legra Vilklivi is essentially what Ember yells out into the depths of the snow. You guys can't see it, but in a very like in a very like when Smeagol's fighting with himself, somewhere out there in the tundra, the dragon's hearing this and like snarling, like smashing his own head into like the ground, and is like clawing at its own face, and it's just like it's been around long enough to know how to be a decent predator. Doesn't mean that it is happy, or its pride isn't yelling at it to return immediately to try and kill you all. So it will battle with itself as it sits out in the tundra and waits for its next opportunity to strike.
Okay, this needs to just get dried out. I'm assuming that's within prestidigitations.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Damn, guys. I was sure I was gonna get something, but I think it all worked out because the dragon isn't too smart that it just dove straight down, not considering the vortex warp, because it's a dumb dragon, or this one is anyway. And it was fitting for the character.
And that's twice. Vix went, "You want to do what?" No.
Nope.
Well done, Nix, and you're not even here. Fantastic.
That's true. Nate,
Finch and Beverly are like
nope.
half frozen to the side of the carriage.
Would it be feasible to dig out the 2 thoroughly destroyed skeletons that were electrocuted?
They got out per your orders.
Oh yeah, so they did. Excellent. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, so nobody died. You're all good. Okay. Wow.
Do we want to keep on going?
By all means, let's continue to go, and let's try to avoid going across bodies of water.
Yeah.
Let's limit him to 2 dimensions worth of space.
Speaking of, I should probably message the airship. Out of character, does Glint remember the name of the engineer, the gnome that he spoke with, that had designed the airship? That was kind of like writing on it for in perpetuity, as far as he could figure.
You want to contact the airship?
Yeah.
Let me just whip out those names real quick. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that. Be travel alerts. Man, did I not write all this shit down? Don't worry, I'm just gonna go jump over to another board. So, meanwhile, somewhere above Amon, there is no combat. Why are you doing this? Flying gently above is Captain Oral Nathalie. Yeah, so she's sailing along on the Silver Sun, going la, 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 and will presumably receive ascending in this moment.
Yes. I am typing it up right now. So we're kind of in the wastes of Leorngorn, not quite in the Neverfields, or are we in the Neverfields? I'm just trying to make sure.
You would be considered, yeah. So the region is called the Neverfields. So because you're not in the city of Lyrengorns, you would be considered to be in the Neverfields. So I would say like the southern Neverfields, if you want it to be specific. You want to know why they're called Neverfields? Because when you go into these fields, you're never heard from again.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why there's nothing mapped up there. There are no destinations or nothing. It's just snow and ice on the map.
Okay. I'll have it typed out in about probably 30 seconds.
Okay. Gives me a chance to look through my notes, because I know I thought I gave names to this captain, El Capitan. I guess not. I thought I got the whole crew and identity. Huh. Prostrate. Oh well. Oh, these are all of my deep secrets about what's going to happen next in the camp. Captain Oral goes, "How are we doing down there, First Mate Vorian?" And First Mate Vorian looks up in his, I think, Goliath form, if I'm recalling correctly, and goes, "Things are pretty good. There's nothing to worry about. Surely there won't be any, there's no reason to expect any sort of strange immediate emergency missives or anything like that." And she goes, "Well, that's just great. What a perfect day for a flight."
Okay. Greetings, this is Glint Grimhelm of Aurora Concordant, traveling through the Neverfields north of Lyringorn, heading west to coast. Need pickup. Will pay. Skyfire.
Roll a persuasion check. See, that's a pretty...
Yeah. Let me roll my horrible features. My flat d20. All right, persuasion. Ooh, that's a 3.
She's going to say, I don't know who this is, but I operate a prototype vessel and we don't do taxi service, so take it up with... Wait, there's cool words here I need to give you. So I know I'm just kind of blowing you off right now. So she says, take it up with the Alsfaran Union. And that's the end of the message.
How do I spell that?
ALSFARIN. Union.
Do I know who they are?
Yep, you may make a history check.
Alrighty. That's a 23.
Yeah, you know the Alsfaran Union. They are the primary. They have a monopoly on skyships. This is a organization in Oncorel within Marquette that is responsible for the creation and use of all skyships across Exandria. So they're the guy. They're the Henry Fords. They're Ford.
Got it.
I mean, Ford doesn't have a monopoly on cars, but you know what I mean.
Glint kind of watches as the scroll in his hands disintegrates and the response comes, and he just takes a moment and looks up to the party as the sled just kind of like hits a bump.
Beverly goes, "So, did you call them?
I did.
Are we going to be saved?"
No.
Oh.
They said to reach out to the Alsfaran Union, which I can attempt to do if I know anyone that could reach out to them. Once I finish scribing this other scroll into my book, which is going to take me most of the day.
Hey, actually, could we reevaluate this in the morning?
Sure.
Yeah, I can contact someone tonight. Zal has to do a thing, and then we'll do something together, and then maybe things will be different in the morning.
Of course, I'm still going to start scribing this.
No, of course that. I mean, I meant with the whole no one's coming to save us thing. I mean, like, let's just put a pin on the whole apocalyptic disaster, world is ending feeling. We can just hold that off until after breakfast tomorrow morning, I feel.
Don't panic until breakfast tomorrow. Got it.
Exactly. No, perfect.
Zarvolg, yes.
Hey, Ryan. Nyx doesn't know of any permanent teleportation circles, right?
I think I'll take that up with Nyx because Nyx is a very unique backstory. So I'm going to have to sort out with her where those circles are. But regardless of what she might know, she certainly doesn't possess the chalks to actually cast the spell regardless. So
Great. Okay. As long as I'm not the one falling down on duty,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Glenn
No,
also
you're
knows
totally
that
good.
spell, but is currently without the components. So we're a little out of luck, I think, on that front until we get where we're going.
So my Lord of the Rings themed Arctic chase is safe.
Exactly. Which I'm all for. I think that rocks.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
Ember's
Beverly says. Beverly
Okay.
turns around and transforms into Gimli as a chasing and says, "We need to go through the mines of Moria. This Arctic shit sucks. You need to get off the mountain." She doesn't do that at all. But who knows? Maybe a mine will come up at some point. But you proceed with the day.
Mhm.
Travel. Glint.
Yeah.
How do you intend to do scribbling and scrying and copying off of papers in the harrowing Arctic wind?
Well, you see, some of the skeletons have shields, so I'm imagining basically in having one of the skeleton henchmen come up onto the back of the wagon like a butler, and then just stand there with the shield planted in front of Glint, like a windscreen, as he's just sort of sitting on the bench writing away, and then it's not
I'm having a
great.
mental image of like 2 a.m. where everyone's like around the lighter trying to get that.
Yeah.
So I will say, because this is a lot of wind, just to like speed things along a little bit, the party finds themselves having to walk. And a number of skeletons have jumped up onto the middle of the sleigh to basically do like a shield, like body. I mean, there's holes through them because they're, but they do their best to like your favorite children basically just do their best to shield you from the wind.
Actually,
I
can help with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we're surrounded by the stuff that'll help me do it.
Oh.
I'm gonna use shape water and make him a little ice bubble.
Oh, that's smart.
It can be a 5 foot. It can be a 5 foot cube.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't melt.
Yeah, sure.
I can make you your own personal, egg-shaped igloo.
You could make us a windshield.
So you guys maybe are trying to figure this out for a little bit, and what eventually comes up being created in the end by the power of Ember, in my mind, what my brain is telling me is we've got like a big old back of the line ice wall and has made you a little desk, probably.
Excellent.
Would it be too much to ask if I didn't have to bend over so you could make me a little icy table? Oh, of course. Is what my brain is saying.
Mhm.
So you've got like a little.
Just like drapes the bedroll over the top of the desk so that it's not directly putting the book on the ice. Yeah.
See, like there's your stool. There's your little spell stool. There's your little icy spell desk. Like so.
I mean, hey, if you give, it's gonna take us a few days to hit the coast, right?
Yeah.
We can keep making modifications.
Yeah, you're gonna have one of those where like they finally come to rescue you, and you like look back at like the beautiful mansion you've created, and you're like, fine, I'll go back to civilization. So you guys are all trudging through the snow. Some of you are maybe sitting on the front, but not all of you. And Glenn's just in the back. There's some classic music playing. He's maybe like sipping some wine. And it's like ice too, so it's definitely like a sunroom situation. Yeah. You're like, my, it looks cold out there.
Skeleton is right next to him, and its mouth opens up, and in the jaw there's just a scented candle going.
That's probably the funniest detail. Yeah, and accommodations per Hotel Ember are established, and Ember, as always, is proving himself the best host in Tal'Dorei. And you will. How long does it take you to describe that sending spell?
6 hours.
6 hours. You will get it done by the time the party stops to set up camp.
Excellent. Okay. Adding that to my spell book.
Yeah, you would need a pretty decent thing to not get blown away in there. So pretty much half of that is going to be for your little writing area. Okay. Sending established in your book. You'll have to prepare it tomorrow, but you've done it. You've learned it. All right. Is it long rest time?
Yeah, I think so. Do we want to set up defenses here?
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we have like dense packed snow, correct?
Yeah.
Do we know about how deep it goes?
You can figure it out. I'm gonna say pretty deep. It's about 10 feet deep.
Zarvolg, I had a thought, but I need your expertise, as you are the ranger, familiar with the workings of nature and the lay of the land.
Yeah.
I was thinking, since this snow is so densely packed, that we could potentially dig trenches, to have some defensible positions for the skeletons overnight, and then maybe dig in something similar for us to rest in. I can have the skeletons dig, but and handle the structure part of that. But if you want to provide your expertise on the shape and the flow of it, I think it would be very useful.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to do that. This isn't necessarily snow. Isn't necessarily my area of expertise, but I do know a little bit about foxholes and trenches, so I can certainly give some
Excellent.
advice.
Well, in that case, consider yourself this first regiment to be under your command. Here's your first army.
All right.
Yeah, and hopefully we can dig some trenches, have skeletons on watch with them, especially as some of them still have crossbows. Glenn can lay a few alarm spells and maybe set up a tiny hut whenever we've dug down to a point it's not going to melt down through it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you guys take some time to establish some trenches. The actual skeletons themselves can start working on that. They don't have any shovels though, and they have bony hands, so they're not very good at shoveling. They do their best, but it takes a while.
I can help ameliorate that. You have a nice hand. You have a nice hand. You have a nice hand. You have a nice hand.
Oh, yeah,
like
you turn them into
travel hands.
That's great.
Little spades.
You turn them. You give them icy hand spades, and they like nod at you, and they start going. And then leading the workforce, of course, in the snow. Best worker of them all. It's getting employee of the month for sure.
Cute and terrifying.
Yep.
Tongue hanging out, wagging.
Yeah.
Snow all over his muzzle.
Yeah, he's so happy. Yeah, you guys build a couple of trenches, maybe like around a central structure.
Yeah, I was thinking like broken
Yeah.
like broken concentric circles, so like a staggered circle around kind of where we intend to be.
Staggered circle.
Yeah,
so you want to do like a multiple trenches, right? So
yeah, well, yeah, it would be like almost like if it was like a bullseye, but instead of full circles, it's just like broken segments of what the circles would be.
Got it. Okay, I'll Hey, suddenly there's no night encounters, because that sounds like a lot of work for me. I'm kidding. I will establish it if something comes up. That much I will promise. Fuck, something came up. So we'll start working on that.
For Brian's sake, I'll offer the following suggestion. Roman square may be easier to build than circles, dealing with stuff that comes out in square blocks.
Yeah, for
When all
some
the assets are
reason,
cubes.
the skeletal mind simply cannot comprehend the idea of a circle. They're only square based.
Yeah.
The
As
unnatural
if
form of a perfect
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah,
they only
nature.
they only perceive the world in 8-bit, so they don't
Yeah.
know what you mean by circle.
Look, nature
Um,
hates a right angle, and these things are unnatural.
That's true. Yeah, they are truly unholy. So yeah, something like that. Is that kind of what we're going for here?
Sure.
Hmm.
It's okay if the answer's no.
Yeah, no, something like that, like what you're doing right there. I was just thinking instead of like having it be continuous all the way around like a moat,
Yeah.
it could be sectioned off, and then like an internal version of that could cover the other section, so that it's kind of like staggered inside itself. Does that
And
make sense?
and yeah, pile all of the snow that you're taking out
Like a
at the
raised berm.
4 exterior corners.
Mhm.
4 exterior
Also,
corners.
if we need help digging, I can turn Fen into a giant ape again.
Oh.
If we need help with shoveling and such.
Uh,
I mean, if we want to
it's-
fortify.
Is this kind of what you guys were going for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay, cool. Sweet. And then you guys can. And how do you intend to establish the? I mean, if you got another fabricate on hand, there's more trees and shit around. You can try and expand the size of your sled to be a solid floor.
I think in the morning, Glint's planning on doing some expansions, but he's out of 4th levels because he was doing all the extra animating this morning. Mhm. So he can tag alarms at the main points of entry and then cast the tiny hut in the center. In theory, he could lay a glyph of warding if he had the materials, but I'd rather not spend that much on a campsite.
Yeah. Okay. You goddamn Romans. 12. You got 2 more over here. We'll put them in there somewhere. Base commanders. And then you got 3 to spare, who maybe are like just kind of patrols.
Yeah, that sounds good for me.
They're just like they're almost like scouts, we'll say, and we'll make them the more expendable of the warriors, perhaps. And those little 3 guys go scouting around, and then you guys can sit square in the middle on your super cool sleigh. But I ask, I digress. Where do you intend to put, or how do you intend to establish the tiny hut, if at all?
I'd say we'd probably cast it on the back of the sleigh, potentially, if that would work.
Yeah.
I don't think that would, just because you need a consistently flat surface, and though it is
Okay.
20 feet in length, it isn't in width.
I would say pull the sleigh forward then to block one of the corners of the main little encampment, and then we can cast the tiny hut in the center of that little point for our camp.
So, like so?
I think that would work, yeah.
Okay, put your thing there. So you're going to put the tiny hut on the snow again.
Yeah, we just have to dig down into it a little bit.
Okay. You dig some ways down in the center to try and make up for...
Actually, rather than dig, let's dump up and down and compact it.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah.
Because the compacted stuff, really, if it's tightly squashed, it'll hold up fine.
Basically making it actual solid ice,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works.
I'll tell you what. Whoever wants to take the lead in like this activity, somebody make me a I want someone to roll me a survival. I want someone to roll me an athletics.
I'll take
2
the
different rolls.
survival.
Whoever rolls athletics can do so at advantage because of the aid of the party.
All right. I mean, I can roll athletics. It'll be probably average, but I'll take the advantage on it.
I mean, I can roll the athletics too if you want me to do the whole thing.
Oh yeah, by all means.
All right. Oh, all right. So I got 19s on each of my rolls, which means that I got a 26 for survival and a 25 for athletics.
Awesome.
Okay. You guys spend probably far too long establishing a campsite, but fair enough. I mean, it's apparently dangerous out here. And you guys establish yourselves a solidly packed, almost ice-like thing where basically you guys spend probably like 20 minutes to half an hour just jumping up and down in the space, to the point where you guys are like around the end there, and you have packed that snow as tightly as you goddamn can. And your skellies have established a defensive measure. Hey, my random encounter shows up and goes, "Oh fuck that!" It turns around. I'll get them on the road. Fuck this. They're dug in. I'm not doing this. Okay. My brain. Ow. Okay. I'm gonna put you guys in the middle because I do have a couple things. Son of
Spills me.
Okay, who's got what watch?
I'll take first watch.
I'll still take fourth.
Right, I was on fourth. Anyone there with Ember?
You need to take second.
Second?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm taking second with you, Vane.
Okay. So same watches as last time, it sounds like?
We can do that.
I was with Nyx last time.
Okay, it's okay. Whatever you guys want to do. What about you, Finch? Do you have somewhere you want to pick?
Who was first watch?
Glint.
With who?
Currently, no one but 19 skeletons.
With me.
Hell yeah.
Right,
With me.
we'll put Nyx with Ember this time.
Okay, Nyx and Ember. I'm just gonna kind of group you guys up so I know what I'm doing. So, Nyx and Ember, Finch and Glint,
Finch, Glint, and the Skelly
Zarvolg
boy.
and Yvain, it sounds like,
Yeah.
and Beverly and the dog. There are worse companions to keep watch with. Glint, peek your guts out. You guys are like you're like jumping up and down on it, and you're suddenly like, wow, that doesn't feel so good in my and then I will be kind enough to say that you managed to get a couple steps in before you unload your bowels with black hot ichor that like melt through the snow just outside of camp.
Perfect.
I do want you to roll me another con save. This one will be a straight roll because you're at both disadvantage and advantage for being poisoned.
Okay, interesting. All right. Also, when I was doing the alarm spells, I used my last current charge of Detective Verses just to buff up another of my skeletons with temp HP. I'm listing it in the party bag.
Your alarm covers a radius of 10 foot square, right?
It does.
So where's that alarm going? Or are you doing like a whole fuck ton of them, just like one after the other?
I think one at each point of main entry, effectively.
Understood. All
right, I need a con save straight roll, correct?
I needed the BBEG to show up right now. This is yeah, maybe that con save. Sorry.
It's a 16.
16. A 16. You, my friend, as you like puke up that last amount of black ichor, and you're like, "Oh, it's all good, all in a day's work for," and then you kind of like have this like feeling in your chest, and you like grab your chest and feels almost like a heart attack for a second, or it could have been. And then it's just like that. It's like incredibly intense heartburn, but not more than that. Like you feel it coming on. You have this like, oh, and then it doesn't really get worse, and then it kind of recedes a little bit, and then it just becomes this ever-present, just like pang in your chest. You are going to, you're dealing with a cardiac injury as the poison floods into your heart. You have an exhaustion that you cannot remove.
Okay.
Basically, you have like a frail heart now.
Ooh. Unfortunate. Me make note of that so I don't forget.
I know that's always what I say when I have that. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm always saying this.
Goodbye, world.
Yeah, Glint, I think in the like after all the preparations, is just sort of posted up in the tiny hut and is probably wrapped his blanket around his shoulders and is basically just hunched up there, and moving as little as possible.
Would I see any of this? Would I, or is
Yes.
Glint by himself? Okay.
You guys would see him like puking his guts out and then like taking a step and then kind of like probably clutching his chest.
Okay.
And then kind of steadying himself and walking. I don't think you would take it more than anything he's done so far, other than to say that he clearly looks like his health is degenerating.
Okay. Can I go
and maybe
over
those
to...
black veins are starting to kind of like encroach around his jawline. Well, actually, he's a beard. You can't see that either. But yes, you can.
You can't see shit. Can I go over to Glint and ask, would you mind if I just tried something really quickly?
By all means.
Okay. Is it okay if I touch you? And I'm going to rub my hands together and I'll just like lightly place them on his shoulders. And I'm going to try and expend 5 points of lay on hands.
Expend 5 points of lay on hands. And Glint, that feeling in your chest doesn't go away, but you do feel just cleaner inside. You feel like you look at your fingers and like they retract back like into the tips of your fingers. Those little pinholes of where you touch the crown remain, but and a little blackish still, but you are no longer poisoned.
Okay. But I still have the point of exhaustion, is that correct?
You still have the cardiac injury, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That helps a fair bit.
You're welcome. I wish I could do more.
It's all right. On the bright side, I don't think I've ever been truly being this close to the feeling of demise. I think has inspired me to think of ever more increasing the creative ways to use necromancy.
I love that. Great outlook.
Truly, I'm at the height of my power. Cough up a bit of blood.
The closer I am to death, the stronger I become.
How are you holding up? I'm sure I'm not the only one that's currently a little physically miserable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm respectfully a little bit better off than you, but suffice to say, I definitely have not been feeling my best since we've picked up that accessory.
That is certainly one word for it. Hopefully, I think maybe whenever we get somewhere safer, I can try and, if need be, if this all doesn't pan out in Vasselheim or wherever else, I can try and construct a way to safeguard it.
I'm definitely I'm concerned. I feel like it was good conversation earlier. Everyone brought up really good points. I don't necessarily know where I stand on that, but there's definitely a certain amount of concern that I don't know how I feel about somebody actually trying to wear it.
I would rather they did not.
Me too. But that's not to say that somebody's not going to try. I feel like in stories and tales of powerful accessories such as this, sometimes power corrupts. And as much as I trust anyone here in this party with my life at this point. We've been adventuring for a very long time. Obviously, there's an influence of magic with this item, and I'm a little cautious about the influence that it could have and the resulting outcome.
I've never seen something quite like this, mind, but I've seen the effects that things of this nature can have on those that at one time maybe had good intentions, good hopes.
Mhm.
I would hate to see it happen again to Miss Yvain or
Mhm.
Zarvolg.
I agree.
But
Hopefully we can get it to somebody who knows what to do with it. I'm just not comfortable with yes, like we talked about, our party has carried many an interesting trinket for long distances, and I've seen the outcome of those events, and I feel like we've been on quite the good upswing. So I'd like to avoid having any situations that put any of us in danger, to be honest. This seems like the height of that. So
it does. I had hoped to, at one time in my life, I'd hoped to have a more quiet existence. As I,
you and me both.
mhm. Add a character question. How far is it from Winter's Crest?
Oh, how lucky I just had it pulled up. I definitely didn't know you were going to ask that. God damn it, shit. Please hold. Coming your way.
Yeah.
Here we go. That would be on the 20th. So you guys are a little ways away from then. It's the 4th. Today would be the 5th, actually.
Okay, so there's like a couple
yesterday.
weeks out.
Yeah, you're a little whiles away.
Mhm.
But hey, fun fact, today is Ember Tide.
Oh, it's Ember Day.
Yeah, so if that's the case, are we aware of the actual days, or is it one of those circumstances where we've like lost track of time?
Finch. Today is the holy day of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon.
And yesterday, the 4th, was Finch's birthday.
Yep.
Oh.
So
okay.
that's today. Yeah, today is the day of Bahamut.
Yeah,
So
so Finch
I
was
wouldn't
born on
say
the
that.
4th. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
I
the 5th
wouldn't
is Ember
say.
Tide.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so much time has gone by, or that the elements are so strong that you've lost track of time at this point. So yeah, you're well aware today is the day of the Platinum Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that today is a day to be solemn and respectful to those who have fallen in defense of others, to like spend the time regarding those who have passed, who dedicated themselves to justice and the protection of good. And that's generally what would, it's like Remembrance Day, basically. I mean, that's a Canadian thing, but point is, maybe Independence isn't, there's some American holiday about remembering soldiers or something.
Memorial Day, it's like that.
Memorial Day. It would be like, today would be like Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
I've been carting something around in preparation to give you for Winter's Crest, but considering that your birthday just came, and I believe it's a day of some relevance for you today as well, and there's currently a horrible artifact sitting in my bag. I'd rather not have it share space for too long. Would you rather I gave it to you now?
Sure. I think in light of everything that's happened, that'd be great.
Can you pass me my bag? It hurts in my chest if I lean forward more than, say, 15 degrees.
Sure. I'll give him his bag.
And Glint will flip it open and dig out a wrapped kind of bundle. It looks fairly boxy and fairly heavy, and he'll offer it over to Finch.
As you do so, very quickly, as you do so, Gwen, you do feel pinprick. Your hands slide past the cold metal of the crown as you feel it on your hand, and it does not feel good under your skin. Like as you touch it and your hand slides across it, it feels like a dozen spiders like crawling across the tip of your hand for a moment.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Would Gwen know if this would be something akin to an ongoing curse, or would it be?
No idea.
Okay.
You've never confronted an evil like this before.
Something for me to try out the next day, then, for sure. But he will offer it over to Finch. It's about like 1.5 feet wide, maybe at most 10 inches across.
Cool. And I'll take it, open it. Okay, and I'll open it.
Yeah. So what's inside of the wrap parcel looks to be like a reliquary. A storage container for like holy scrolls and texts and the like. It's basically carved out entirely of silver. And the lid is in the shape of a reclining dragon.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very much purely intended in the likeness of Bahamut. There's a very well-made lock on the front that has a small sigil on the face of it. And it's pretty clear, just given that I think Finch has seen enough time from fabrications that Gwen's cast, that a lot of this detailing is done by hands, not by magic. It is magically sealed. If you want to suppress the lock, I did my best to recall what's relevant to you. If you say, "Leave me blinds to all but the true light of justice," we'll suppress it.
And I'll say that, and I'll like open the box. Just like inspect it. This is really neat. I feel like with my upbringing, I feel like I've been very blessed to live a comfortable life. And I feel like that comes with a lot of various splendors. But I feel like things like this I appreciate very deeply. Material things, I think over time are, it's easy to become overwhelmed with the dazzlement of things that glitter and sparkle. And I think I really appreciate the time and effort that you put into this. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
I tried to. Now, mind you, I don't have anything inside of it past a nice velvet lining. I am a dark mage by most accounts, so I figured anything that should go into it would be by your hands, not mine.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for not smiting me when first we met.
I think we're still getting to know one another, but I feel like you'll come to find that I'm not I won't say not as traditional as you may expect, but through my upbringing and through adventuring, I've definitely come to learn that perhaps the things that I've been taught in my upbringing aren't necessarily what I thought they were, especially in my lived experiences and then returning home to Amon. It's not that I ever doubt my faith in the Platinum Dragon, but I feel like a lot of the pageantry that comes with knighthood sometimes is just exactly that. So I've learned over time to give people the benefit of the doubt, even if my initial reaction is maybe not to. And so I took a gamble on you, and it paid off.
I'm glad.
Me too.
And there's someone that doesn't have much patience with tradition. I think it's good that Bahamut chose you in some ways. I think it's indicative that perhaps the dragon himself is also not really one for silly hats and pageantry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Glenn, I want you to roll me an insight check just regarding your question about the crown.
Sure. Actually, let me roll it on D&D Beyond. Insight, not great. 14.
14. 14. You don't understand. It's beyond your spellcraft, your arcane knowledge, the depths of this thing you possess.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about it in a different way. Musing about it for the past couple of days. You look around at the various people around you sleeping. You see Finch, who I think amongst everyone doesn't look sickly in any sense of the word. Doesn't look pale or infected or anything like that, for the grace of being a paladin. But certainly like an acknowledgeable like discomfort, perhaps, whenever Finch draws too close to you. Divine health defending Finch, but clearly like a the rest of your party, Ember, Nyx, those two they seem a little bit more similar to you, not poisoned like you were, but sickly. You don't know Nyx very well. You know Ember is a very Finch is a very solidly moral, justice, good person. You know Ember is a particularly like wise and moral individual as well. Not one easily fooled, it seems. Beverly has proven herself capable of some level of deception, no matter how poorly she feels about it. Yvain has proven herself capable of deception, no matter how good the intention. Carrying with her the astral scroll for so long and so on. Zarvolg himself, sort of more bleak individual. It's a matter of quandary exactly what the stipulations are, but you can't help but Yvain has fallen victim to greater power. Zarvolg seems very willing to test the limits of that. Beverly's young and naive. Perhaps the crown picks the people who are most likely manipulated or persuaded. Perhaps it has something to do with morality. You're not sure. With that role, there's no perfect equation that you can find for why things are the way they are with the crown and how it's influencing people around you. But maybe it's something personable. Maybe it's something to do with alignment. Maybe it's something to do with simply maybe the crown likes those people more. It's difficult to say, but at this point, you're starting to gather that it's something to do with the individual themselves. You yourself have navigated dark forces and have a very strict moral, ethical foundry of how to deal with that. And probably won't find yourself too manipulated by dark forces, as you have proven yourself capable of not being seduced by that power and stuck in pretty thoroughly to your ethics. So maybe it has something to do with the strength of ethics of the individual, or the strength of conviction or stubbornness of the individual. Again, it's an imperfect equation, but you're starting to get the sense maybe it has something to do with their personality in some way.
Sir Andergod, if it becomes necessary for someone else to carry this thing, I would rather it be you or Ember than Yvain or Zarvolg. I do not doubt the purity of their intentions. I just understand the flexibility of their pursuit.
I understand.
Mhm.
And I agree. That's what I was kind of more or less getting at
Mhm.
beginning of our conversation. And if and when the time comes, especially with your deteriorating condition, at any time you can hand it over to me and I'll carry it.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I've nearly seen the world break already once. I would rather not usher that in a second time.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
I'm going to move us along simply
Yeah.
because we. But excellent job, guys. First watch goes by, without issue. Second watch comes around for Zarvolg and Yvain. Is there anything to be discussed there, or is it small talk and heavy?
Oh,
heavy
so much, so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess they sit at like the entrance of the tiny hut. Is that right? Facing the outside.
Yeah, it's
Don't
a
watch.
globe, so yeah, you sit there and keep an eye out.
All right. So yeah, he'll have his kind of like bedroll blanket with him, and he'll say, "Come on in, it's cold out here."
Oh yeah, she'll absolutely go a slot next to him and pull his arm around her.
How you doing?
Let me go first. Are you in a...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You deserve better than me. I completely failed you about 2 months ago. Storm. He died. So the day before is when I found out about the sightless, and there's absolutely no way you could have known. Absolutely no way. Anyway. Purple skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was a total bitch. Sorry.
No apology necessary. I had that coming. I was having a bad day as well. I was a little defensive and not quite in control of my reactions. Are we good?
I'll pull her a little closer.
You've been pretty impressive lately out on the snow there.
Yeah, so I'm a decent blaster. I'm good with the bow, I just don't get much chance. We should probably decide what we're going to do with Fen, though. So let's back at him.
He's been pretty amused by your assistance lately. I wouldn't I'd be careful with that. You don't want him to get his expectations up.
But so here's the thing. You know I love Finch, right? You know I love Finch. So it doesn't mean you're going to beat them. You're just going to see it coming when they beat you to a pulp, right? But the dragon's always going to come for you first, Zarvolg. I can't have some stupid white dragon running away with you. And while I'm perfectly happy to give the suit, I can do it. It's better that you're not there to begin with. So yeah. We should probably talk about what I can do with Fen. And how you can use that strategically.
For a minute, I thought you were trying to look out for me, but if it's strategy we're talking about,
Of course I'm looking out for you. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah, strategy, of course. That.
yeah, I'd be happy to talk about strategy, especially now that seems you're broadening your magical horizons. I'm going to be keeping it simple with a crossbow and a bolt, so I suppose any extra advantage you can give me as things become more and more magical probably help keep me alive.
Gotta shoot before Finch.
Don't shoot before Finch.
No,
Is that
you're
what you
going
just?
to. You're going
Oh
to.
yeah.
No, you're going to.
Oh, I'm always going to.
So if something's gonna fly like a dragon, keep Fen close. If he's between your legs, I can turn him into something you can fly with. The dino is not as smart, and it's not as beefy as the eagle, but it can fly in and out like super, super fast. So you'd be able to dodge better. Eagle is smarter, but whichever you think is best. Also, if we can get to the dragon before it flies, the ape can grapple it, which was my hope. God, we didn't get a chance to talk about any of this before it happened. I meant to.
Really quickly, as you guys sit there, sort of nestled together, talking strategy. The storm, the blizzard, not fully, but somewhat, for the most part, begins to finally subside. As you realize during the course of conversation, and Zarvolg, you listening to Yvain, talking about creatures with great passion. And for the first time since you've left Lyrangorn, the stars come out again, and Katha, the great moon, sort of just crescent glinting in the sky above you two. And maybe just a little bit of that, not as extreme as the other day, but just a bit of that purplish green aurora borealis sort of illuminating the sky. A great vista appears before you.
And she absolutely melts.
Yeah, look at that. The storm god and the moonweaver working together to provide us a little ambiance.
So look,
All
I
right.
understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say we were talking about apes and dragons, but yeah, I think I can read the cues closely enough in combat. We can talk about it, but it doesn't have to be perfect every time. Combat almost never is.
You can't wear the
What's your
crown.
passive perceptions?
Yep.
24, I think. Let me check. I think it's 24.
17.
Yeah, 24.
Zarvolk saying this is like, it's never perfect, and Yvain, you kind of like look over at him, and I don't know, you're sharing this nice moment, and you see on his shoulder a little spider crawl down his shoulder. And I'm gonna very briefly cut to someone else, but we were coming back to you momentarily.
All right.
Glint.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Normally, you sleep like the stone. Not tonight. Tonight you dream of terrible things. In your nightmare, you find yourself in a dimly lit chamber. You can't see the walls. The air is thick with the scent of decay, what you are very accustomed to as a necromancer, and recognize it immediately. The walls are draped in thick, gleaming webs that drip with venom, pulsating as if alive, like the veins to a great heart, great source, as if they're alive. And at the end of the chamber, well, actually in dead center in the chamber, very dimly illuminated, is a pedestal of stone, bone, and a great crown of black barbs sits upon it, gleaming wicked in the dark. You feel compelled to look at it and maybe to move away or move closer, but in this moment you notice that within these deep shadows in the cold chamber, you are caught in the web. You hang suspended in the room and realize there's web wrapped around your torso, wrapped around your arms and wrists, around your legs, and you are suspended. And all of these many, many webs sort of end and descend in and around the crown. Because of the crown itself, where the beating heart of this room was the center of all this. You see webbing begin to loosen from the crown and ascend. And as it ascends into the dark, you begin to descend, as if it is luring you closer. As you get closer by this force of power, and you approach it, whispers incomprehensible become more and more apparent. Venom tongues slithering through the air, filling your mind with dread, and you are brought closer and closer to the crown until it's right in front of your face. And then finally, a single barb is, whether you retract and try and keep away, but you can only do so much until finally a single barb pokes you in the center of the forehead. Searing pain shoots through your forehead, around your head, pulsing headache. Icy tendrils of poison course through your veins, down your neck, towards your heart. The crown grows in barbs, sickly, greenish light pulsates from it, and the crown latches onto your head, digging its spiny barbs into your head and burning your veins under your skin. The chamber spins, and you are dropped to the ground, and you writhe in agony. Your visions blur as the walls around you begin to melt away, and as you have the crown upon your head, those vast whispers grow greater, the walls fall away, and the webs spread even further into an endless cacophony of networks. Somewhere out there, you can see it in the webs, sort of as they move like piano keys, as if something is moving along them out there. And now that the crown is on your head, your vision may be blurred and your mind swirling, but you can hear those incomprehensible words forming into a language you don't understand, but you understand this feminine entity. It seems to be more apparent with the crown upon your brow. Before you can fully realize and understand the words that are being said, as the crown grips tightly into your skull and burns you as if you are going to die, it falls off. Rolls away as if you are not enough. And within your venomed state, as you writhe on the ground and basically just in full seizure mode, basically, you hear those feminine words laced together into a single sentence. And in venomous tongue, you hear the feminine voice say, "You are mine now." The webs tighten around you and pull you back up into the ceiling, and before you can scream, the webs tighten around your throat, choking you. You are unable to speak, and you begin to succumb as the presence of this entity overwhelms you and to fade to black. into void. Back to Yvain and Zarvolg. What do you do, Yvain, if anything, as you see this single spider creep down Zarvolg's far shoulder?
You're muted.
Muted.
How big is it?
Not big. Like, tiny.
I'm going to reach out and crush it in her hand.
You take it and put it in your hand, crunch it, and you throw it behind you. And as you look behind you, you double take. And as your party lays asleep in the room, you're going to see, people. Oh, not you two. You two are fine. As everyone else lays asleep, you see Glint on his side. Not unusual as the rest of the night, sort of maybe just like shifting uncomfortably. You know he's been suffering. But you'll notice that the flap of his bag of holding is open, and sitting in the center of the room is the crown. Webs dangling, just not a great deal, but just a little bit off of it, that sort of coil along the ground, and are slightly, almost as if not growing, but ever so slightly touching each person. And you see spiders sort of around the barbs and hide behind. And the crown just sits ominously in the center of the room.
Can I pick up his bag of holding and put it back in? Like, you said it's like kind of in the middle of his bag of holding, but
No, the Glint still has his bag of holding equipped to him, and maybe even is like holding it or whatever. But perhaps he just shifted in his sleep and the flap opened, or somebody did it. You don't know. But Glint has his bag asleep, and presumably rolled out into the center of the dome is the crown.
Do I see any of this?
Yeah, she looks behind her and double takes and probably looks for a moment. You turn around and see it as well.
All right.
Everyone else is still sound asleep.
Uh-oh. I think it wants out.
it can stay where it was put.
I really think we ought to try to do something with it. It's clearly not settled or stable in there.
You're right. You're not wrong. I have a question. Did you ever call me Sightless One, Zon? Or was that the one time you actually said my name that I never got to hear?
I've called you a lot of things. I don't think I ever called you that.
They call me Witch.
Yeah.
You've never called me Sightless One.
No, I don't think that I have.
It was just when it was twisting my reality, yeah?
I believe so. I don't know.
That's what this crown is going to do. Whoever puts this crown on its head, it's going to twist its reality.
Do you think so? We don't know that.
Rolled it.
That was an entire entity, an entire deity. This is a crown. People have powerful magical items.
No, that's the whole point of this. This is a message of divergence. This was made by the hand of the Spider Queen herself.
That sounds powerful.
Yeah. You know, I thought the astral scroll was a tool, like Finch's hammer. When I realized it wasn't, I gave it up. Because I knew I wasn't wise enough to handle it, and still.
All right, so I think that's a great example. Let's do that again. That worked out all right. It was apparently more than we could handle, and we handed it off.
You realize that there is you realize, yeah, we handed it off. But there's a target on my back. You realize that, yeah?
I'd say there's a target on our backs now. All of
No,
us.
there's a target on my back. Specifically mine. While doing just exactly that.
No, I understand. I'm saying regarding the crown. It's been in 2 days. We've had 2 different things come after us wanting it. We already have the target.
Bad idea. I promise you it's a bad idea. Look, you want power, right?
I think we need it.
Power does not come without a cost. What are you willing to pay?
But we don't know what the cost is yet.
We do. Apparently it's sanity. You saw what the thing did to the Sphinx.
It didn't affect us the way it affected the Sphinx, though. We're different.
Yvain is gonna grab the
I am gonna interrupt for a second, just so we can set some possibilities right. I'd like both of you to roll. I suppose it's a Arcana check. Yeah, I suppose it's an Arcana. What do we
Natural 16. Natural 16 for a 16.
Nice. Yvain?
10.
10. One thing that I think you'd both be able to recognize is that, the Astral Scroll was technically a magic item. Like, I didn't give you a stat block for it, but it was technically a magic item. It was this item laced with magic, and surely a conduit to this horrible other being. So what I'll give to both of you is that, indeed, the Astral Scroll influenced your mind and your perception of reality. And that was probably largely because of its connection to the Sightless. And the Sightless, infamously, was about warping perception. The thing to point out would be that this is not supposedly linked to the Sightless one. And per reading your books, actually, I'll lower the DC a little for you, Yvain. You'll be in on what Zarvolg got because you're reading your books. So what you will also pick up both is that as far as the pantheon goes, as betrayers go, you speak of insanity. There is a betrayer god that works with insanity. Tharizdun, the Chained Oblivion, is considered the evil god of insanity. Loth has no such designs. Loth does not function or work within the realms of insanity. Loth works in the realm of cunning and deception. So to point out simply is the Astral Scroll did indeed have negative influences on you, Yvain. Yes, very comparable, but this is a separate magic item related to a separate deity with a separate portfolio. Both evil, different entities, different dogmas, shall we say.
So she's going to take her ring off. She's going to use her mage hand to take the crown and stuff it back into his fucking bag, fold the thing over, and put her ring back on.
So we're going to hold on that. Glint, I imagine, where's your bag of holding when you sleep? Especially with the idea that the crown is in there. Probably, do you have it
Yeah, I think he's like side sleeping and kind of holding it very stuffed animal style, close to the chest.
Got it. So, Yvain, you can attempt to put it back, but it's not going to be so simple as I just mage hand slam it in there.
She disappeared.
Yeah,
the crown got her.
Crown got her.
All right, so while she's
gone,
gone, I stuff it on my head.
Well, we'll give you a moment, because Yvain's done a lot of the talk. It is a conversation, but still. Is there anything that you would do, Zarvolg?
Oh, there you go. No, I mean, he's still willing to have the conversation. Like, he's not, despite the reaction that he's getting from everyone, he's not really crazy about it. He doesn't even really like spiders. He just really thinks it's a useful opportunity that they're dismissing a little bit prematurely. So he's not rabid about it, and he's not going to fight or even argue too much about it. He's just insistent that like he feels like they're overlooking a possibility here.
Understood. So Yvain, if you wish to put the crown back in the bag, it will not be as simple as using my mage hand and stuffing it in there. Glint is asleep and protectively holding the bag of holding. So you can certainly try and do that without rousing Glint, but it's not going to be as simple as just, So you can tell me how you'd like to go about that.
Oh, while I'm watching her do this, can I say,
Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful. You're gonna end up poking someone with that thing.
Muted.
Yeah, you're right. And I'll nudge Glint.
Okay. Glint, you will awaken from your nightmare. Of being strangled with webs and basically being repulsed, or all of those terrible things I said. You awaken from that nightmare, and you may decide to awaken how you wish.
Yeah, he would wake up thrashing.
Yvain, you poke Glint very carefully, and he's always been a very mild-mannered individual, but in this moment he kind of like thrashes and flips out.
Easy.
Are we still here?
The crown is out of your bag.
Oh, we're here, but your crown's out, buddy.
Oh, fuck. Is it? And he's like scrambling around and still very out of it. Clearly. Can he see where the crown is?
In your bag.
The crown is, unless Yvain, you picked it up and like tried to do like a angle thing, then it would still be sitting in the middle. As a reminder, there's.
She would have actually tried to pick it up.
Okay, so we'll say that it's kind of floating in the air in a sort of mage hand, and that all those like thin sheen of webbing has sort of disattached from it at this point.
Ooh. Yeah, Glint's gonna try and if he can, he's not even gonna try and grab it right now. He's going to sort of butterfly net the opening of the bag onto the crown and then slam it closed.
You look at it, Glint, and like a wave. You like go to do it and you go to like approach it. Unlike before, as if it is growing in power or influence, or you're growing weak, whatever it may be, you go to open it and you sort of you open it up and you go to look at it and your vision goes like hazy, and you guys see that blood ichor just sort of like gloss over Glint's eyes and like drip down his cheek like tears. And Glint, your body sort of like almost your heart sort of pangs again as if poisoned, and you kind of find yourself keeling over, not able to fully confront the crown, as if it's repelling you violently with like sickness and poison.
Can you vein
We'll make me a sleight of hand check. See if you can like time it and just put her in there.
17, nothing to add.
17. It slips into the bag, and Glint, as it slips into the bag and the bag is in your hands. Ooh. This is mean, but the crown has quite a will. As it slips into the bag, and it goes in there, but you hear this tearing sound, and your bag sort of rips apart, and the crown falls to the ground at your feet, and you like turn around and probably vomit out of the thing, but it tears your bag of holding in half.
All right.
Like the barbs like rip through its sides.
Removing
All right,
that from
everybody-
It
inventory.
doesn't want to be put away.
Everybody wake up.
Everybody wakes. If some of
Get
you
up.
haven't already
Ember,
been rising.
Finch.
Yeah. What?
We have a
What's going
we have a crown issue. It's out and it won't be put away.
What do you mean?
He just kind of points to it. We tried to we turned around and it was out of Glint's bag while he was asleep, and then when we tried to put it back in, he couldn't put it back in himself. Yvain tried and it tore its way through the bag.
I need you all to listen for one moment. It is not just her agents that are chasing us. The Spider Queen's eyes are on us. Directly.
Yeah, I know.
You do not fully know. You should never put this on.
I wanted you to give me an insight really quick, Glint, regarding your vision, your nightmare.
Mm-hmm. 17.
17. For all the violence and all the terrors, you know two things. The nightmare didn't come from the Spider Queen herself, you don't think. Well, kind of did, but directly, indirectly, sure, it came from the Spider Queen. Directly, it was the crown. The crown brought you into that nightmare and tormented you within it. The second thing is that if it was relaying anything to you, is that if there was an inclination to commune with the Spider Queen, to try and acquiesce or whatever, talk to her, make a deal, manipulate her, whatever it is, the crown has the ability to have a one-to-one connection for the wearer.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from the horrid violence, those two things become apparent to you. That the crown's will is strong, and that the crown, on top of whatever other powers it might have, can form a connection with the Spider Queen directly to the wearer.
This is not a tool. This is a terror. It is an open channel. It has a will of its own. If I cannot carry it in my bag, we must find another way to move it. But we cannot put this on.
I disagree. I know that you know this already, but I don't know about these sorts of things. I'm not learned. I haven't read these things. I haven't studied them. But I have this feeling that if we put it on, we could stop all of this.
Oh, that's how this works.
I know that you think that. I know that you feel it.
Hey,
Please.
I have an idea. I'm going to be right back. Ember's going to step outside, and he's going to gather up a big batch of snow.
Yep.
He's going to step back inside, and he's going to set it around the crown. He's going to pack it down around the crown.
Okay.
And then he's going to pick it up, and he's going to disappear into his ring. He's going to set it down, and he's going to leave.
Okay. So we will let's see how that goes. You're trying to use the snow to pick it up. Does not want to be held by you guys.
If needs
pick
be,
up the snow.
I'll encase it in ice too. If it won't pack, I'll just put it in a block and put it somewhere else.
I will say, yeah. So you go put it in a block. You're doing whatever you can. It is going to battle your very body against it. But I will say for these methods, maybe a con save to see if you can bear through whatever potential struggles to just try and make this one act possible.
Ugh. I'm gonna kill my inspiration.
Okay.
I don't know if this will help, but could I try and cast a spell on Ember to assist him in this, like a protection from evil and good? I don't think it would
I'm gonna
assist,
say
but
that the
you know.
yeah, I'm gonna say the role's already gone through, so we're gonna see
Mhm.
how things go with Ember. Maybe try afterward. Ember, what you got?
That. Yes, I need all the help I can get. Okay, 13.
13. Okay, 13. Let me see here. You're gonna have a similar thing to Glint. You start trying to pack it up, trying to grab it and put it in the thing, without touching it. And you essentially feel like the vomiting sensation and the various negative effects, the repulsion, and you feel your body sort of unable to draw too close to it. And you will probably similarly stick your head out and sort of vomit intensely.
I have a question.
Yeah. I will say it just to put a general thing out. I will say for Finch, Glint, Ember, Nyx, you all certainly at this point feel that this like repulsion has certainly increased in power since yesterday. If not growing stronger. Yes, Glint.
So this seems to be, from what Glint's seen, a poison effect, and targeting the organs and infecting the body. Can Glint try and have his skeletons pick it up?
Yes, certainly can. You have your skeleton sort of walk in and pick up the crown easy enough.
Okay. Now, I appear to be absent a bag.
Jane will hand him hers.
Your hand Glint, yours?
My bag, yeah.
As
Okay.
Yvain does that, I'm gonna thrust mine forward instead, like in its place. To
You're gonna what
uphold.
forward?
Shove my bag, and like as Yvain is like taking off her bag to like give it to Glint, I'm gonna take my bag and like shove it in place, like upholding the deal that I made with him.
Yeah.
Got it. So you hand Glint your bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay. So Glint, you have a second bag of holding and a very mean crown.
I'm gonna have the skeleton just carefully lower it into the bag.
Okay. Carefully lower it. I will
have the
say
skeleton-
make a
Oh, go
sleight of
ahead.
hand check for your skeleton. I don't mean to be a
Yeah.
pain in the ass, folks.
No,
I'm
it's all
sorry
good.
about that. This
This is a scary object that you're handling.
spider crown, spider queen, they're all very prickly, annoying.
That's an
people.
18 total.
Okay. Gingerly, carefully, without the worry of sickness, descends into the bag. And that wave of sickness sort of calms for some.
Yeah.
Minuscutely, but some.
Yeah, and if possible, Glint's gonna have the skeleton close the bag, and then with Glint still bleeding from the eyes, he's going to have the minion in his place hand it back to Finch.
Finch con save. You good folks. It doesn't want you guys holding it.
I got a 21.
21. You grasp it, and you feel this wave of nausea you haven't felt in a long time. You're immune to diseases, but you're not immune to poisons. And you hold it, and you just like, oh, you just like feel actively like retchingly sick, but you bear through whatever might come next, by the grace that it's on another demi-plane for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a prolonging, uncomfortable experience, barely bearable.
Is there a way, as that's happening, for me to just like clutch my amulet and like very subtly just like because I'm very cognizantly aware of like what today is, like speak a prayer to Bahamut and say something to the effect of you know, like like justice bringer, like guide us steadfast on our journey ahead.
Make me a wisdom check. If you're proficient in religion, you can have proficiency bonus.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so just a flat wisdom.
Okay. 22.
22,
yeah.
wow. You more than any other have a deep connection to the celestial realm that you're slowly discovering, and you feel your words on this day are enough. The Holy Father of Justice has a lot to contend with today. It's a big day for him. But his eyes turn north, and hopefully his justice will be upon you. He's behind the divine gates, and he doesn't have such mad influence as the Spider Queen does on you in this moment, but you know that he's watching, and faith requires that you believe he will help. Help will come.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't save you from what you're feeling.
No.
Like you're not taking
that
any
wasn't the point. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm just reminding that though you are taking no mechanical detriments, you feel sickly in it. You feel physically ill holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rounds in bag number 2. I will say, Glint, you know that your contents of your original bag of holding are lost to the astral sea because of its destruction. I believe that is what it specifies in the description of bag of holding.
I think typically they just spill out, but I could be completely wrong.
I think when they are like damaged, it gets lost to whatever. But if you turn it inside out, then everything spills out.
Oh yeah, its contents are scattered in the astral plane. Yeah.
Yeah. So the items in your bag of holding are scattered to the astral plane.
Yeah. So that was a set of smith's tools, a set of alchemist's tools, and I believe also. Let me double check. 1/2 of a skeleton, 55 pounds of iron, and several yards of canvas.
Somewhere a celestial spirit is like, oh, what the fuck?
What's all these goodies?
An artificer, surely. How unfortunate. So unfortunately, yes, those contents are gone, and it's worth noting that Finch's bag is in similar peril should something happen to it.
Don't love that.
If you wished to, you could place it in the reliquary, which is a little oddly relevant in hindsight. It should at least keep it from getting out.
That's a good point. And I'm going to try to do just that.
Well, sorry, what are you doing?
Reliquary? I'm going to try and put it in the reliquary that Glint gifted me.
The bag of holding into the reliquary?
No, the crown.
The crown? Okay. How big is this reliquary?
It was about 1.5 feet wide, 10 inches across. It's pretty big. It's meant for holding like full holy scrolls and stuff like that.
What's it made of?
It's made of solid silver and is warded with the arcane lock spell.
Okay, so you want to like open the bag and like dump the crown essentially into the reliquary and close the reliquary?
Yes.
Yeah. I messaged you about it on Discord back, I think on like July 1st.
Yeah. No, I believe you. I'm just getting caught up, I suppose. You do this. You open up the bag and sort of push it out. It does nick a couple threads on the opening, but it doesn't destroy it. Your bag is okay. And it tumbles into the reliquary and you close it shut. And I will say, like, you're like, oh, okay, good, it's in there. Very quickly, you're going to see that, like, any designs you've made. So it's like dragons and such on the side, right, Glint?
Mm-hmm.
That aesthetic begins to sort of start to look not great. The filigree will start to like fill with this blackish greenish color, much like if you when you wrap something in paper and it begins to, like, all the moisture begins to move outward. Similarly, it begins to sort of show sign of like corruption around the dragons. The actual brass dragon sort of like begins to coat black, like actually green, as if like tainting
tarnish.
the visage of Bahamut into like a poisonous green dragon instead. And this will function as a reliquary for the purposes of any spells. It is a reliquary of Loth and the Spider Queen at this time. And just sort of the influence of the crown very quickly decorates the reliquary to make it appear more poisonous, more insidious. But this is now a functioning reliquary. You certainly have something in there that would be relevant to her faith. So yeah, you don't know if that's a permanent fixture, but it does change the aesthetic of it, and you feel its power sort of writhing from within, but it is locked within.
Sorry, I'll
Still not pleasant to hold.
I could make you another one for Winter's Crest if you want.
One thing at a time.
At this time, there is going to be you're going to hear like clittering and clacking from outside, as you hear like the skeletons sort of move, and you are going to look into the Arctic scape, and you're going to see sort of mostly towards the edge of dark vision range, a little bit beyond, you are going to see two figures, tattered cloak billowing in the wind, not armed, not armored, nothing in particular, but gleaming red eyes of vengeance and hate. And these two figures stand and slowly begin to approach fearlessly. And that is where we'll end our session.
Oh.
What else is new?
Sorry guys, you got the one ring, man. You're I don't mean to be a pain in the ass. This thing is